Well, welcome to Toronto Maple Leafs Baseball on YouTube, brought to you by MNP. Thomas West alongside Zach Benoit. Sam Green on the mound for the Toronto Maple Leafs as they try to get a revenge win against the Hamilton Cardinals. High chopper to Jose Vinicio. He whips the ball to first, scoop by Jordan Castaldo, but it is not in time. And first pitch and a leadoff single for Hamilton.
That was Brandon Nicholson right there with the little chopper to shortstop. Jose Vinicio tried everything he could to get the ball over again. Just those high hops, you have good speed going down the line. It was going to be a hard play to make.
Brings up Danny Berg, who leads the Hamilton Cardinals in batting average this season. He's had an excellent start to the year. Danny Berg with a runner on. Sam Green is getting the start here today. I didn't get a chance to talk to Sam Green before the game, but I would imagine that he is scheduled for more than one inning today. He was coming back from injury, pitched one inning in his last outing, and I think he's starting to ramp things up a little bit for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So expect to see him go a little bit deeper into this ball game today.
And how nice is it to see Sam Green back on the mound, especially after the injury he sustained about a month ago.
Runner goes, bunt by Berg down the third baseline, and it's going to trickle into foul territory. Oh no. 1-1 on Berg. Danny Berg batting .371 on the season. The pitch from Green. Another bunt, and that one's fouled off, so Danny Berg does not get the bunt down in the first two strikes. He's behind in the count, and you'd have to imagine that he'll have to swing the bat. Now, Brandon Nicholson is the runner over there at first base, and he has plenty of speed to steal second base, but the Hamilton Cardinals may have been watching what Justin Mara has been doing behind the plate. He has been on fire defensively. He's been good at the plate too, but he has made it really difficult to steal bags, especially when he can throw out runners from his knees. Sam Green with a check on Brandon Nicholson. Nicholson was off to a slow start to the season, so he'll take that infield hit, batting .217 on the year. And the Hamilton Cardinals, after this, have the gauntlet coming up with Tyler Duncan, Luis Bernardo, and Connor Hicks, who's had a good start to the year. There goes Nicholson, an off-speed pitch from Green, throw from his knees, and it's just late. Brandon Nicholson got a great jump, and he picked the right pitch to run on as well, as that pitch was in the dirt from Sam Green on the breaking ball.
This is a Hamilton Cardinals team that's having a pretty good year. They went on a little bit of a slump the last week or so, but they've kind of bounced back, winning the last two games. But they started the year off red hot. They were one of the top teams. They've fallen down to fifth now. But this is a very different team than we saw even just as little as 2 years ago.
The former 30th rounder by the Seattle Mariners, Tyler Duncan, takes inside ball one. Got drafted in the 2016 version of the priority selection. Should still stay Danny Berg at the plate. Tyler Duncan, though, coming up as he fouls that ball off. Tyler Duncan on deck hitting .350, then Luis Bernardo hitting .333, and Connor Hicks hitting .308. Good start to the year offensively for Hamilton. Here's the pitch from Green. Just missed outside, so Tyler Duncan will come to the plate with a couple of guys on. Duncan sitting on 29 home runs in now his third season in the Intercounty Baseball League. Duncan led the IBL last season with 16 home runs in the regular season. Here's the first pitch from Sam Green, and it's a double steal. Throw down to third base is high. John Salasso has the jump to keep that one in front of him. Brendan Nicholson looked like he got a late jump on his way down to third base, but that time it wasn't a perfect throw from Justin Mara.
Yeah, and I'm sure you can kind of hear it through our microphones, the wind today. That's going to be a big factor. And it looks like Mara, he kind of sailed the throw, and then it just kind of kept rising and rising with the wind as well.
Yeah, it was absolute carnage in the broadcast booth trying to get it set up today. We had a tent, got broken in 8 or 9 places while we tried to put it up. So we are just roasting in the sun right now, trying to hold down our papers and hoping for no precipitation, or else this broadcast is over. Tyler Duncan has 2 in scoring position. Not to mention 2 of our crew got injured as well, so we're playing hurt.
We're playing, yeah.
This broadcast.
Well, we're doing the best that we can.
Duncan swings and misses. First out of the inning. Or sorry, that's strike 2 on Tyler Duncan. He started walking back to the. No, it is strike 3. Okay, Tyler Duncan wasn't sure. Anyway, he heads back to the dugout, and that's the first out of the inning, and that's a big first out for Sam Green.
Yeah, it's a dangerous hitter in Tyler Duncan, but like you were mentioning, it doesn't get any easier. You got Luis Bernardo coming up, the designated hitter, and you mentioned he's off to a red-hot start. 333 in his first 15 games, and the extra base hits, he has 4 with 3 doubles and 1 home run.
Occupies one of the import spots on this Hamilton Cardinal roster. Luis Bernardo takes strike 1. Here's the pitch. Another breaking ball from Green, up and away. Swing and a miss. Count now 1-2 on Bernardo. Swinging a foul tip into the glove of Justin Mara. 2 away, and now Sam Green 1 out away from getting out of danger here in this first inning.
And those are 2 massive strikeouts for Green. Like you said, the inning started off with a hit, then the walk, and 2 runners in scoring position. He's just trying to strand it here, give the Leafs a chance to go up to bat with a tie still.
First pitch is swung on a miss, strike 1. So after the first 2 reach against Sam Green, now he's starting to really find his form. Batter now is Connor Hicks. Hicks played 3 seasons playing for the Indiana State Sycamores. That's Division 1 of the NCAA. And there's a cross-up on Justin Mara. Justin Mara thought it was going to be a fastball up and away, but it crossed him up. It was down and in. I think the umpire called that a ball, though. I guess he called it a strike. Now it counts 0-2. That one he does not call a strike. It was just inside, much to the chagrin of Sam Green and Justin Mara, who are walking off the field.
Yeah, it looks like he hit his spot, but umpire will electively say no.
We'll get into this more as the game goes on, but the Maple Leafs had 6 players ejected yesterday.
Very interesting game, to say the least.
This one's hit high and deep to left field. Is the wind going to push into foul territory? No, but a great catch made out there by Ryan Dos Santos as he reaches out and makes the grab, and that will end the inning. So the Toronto Maple Leafs get out of it. Sam Green works around second and third, nobody out, and we'll be right back here from Dominico Field.
Welcome back here to Dominico Field, bottom half of the first, and it will be the top half of the Maple Leafs order, and it'll look like this. Jordan Castaldo to lead things off, Justin Mara, followed by Connect, and then John Salazzo will be the top four to hit. And how about the start it's been for Jordan Castaldo? You look at what he's been able to do over the start of this season, a little bit of a slow start, and as of late, he's gotten that batting average over 300. And he is just looking primed and ready at the plate as of late. So far, the Maple Leafs, they have gone to a little bit of a slump here in the last couple games. They're looking like they were slowly turning things around, but they've lost their last three. Their last one coming against Brantford back on June 16th. That one just outside. Had a big tilt against the Guelph Royals on Wednesday, and they lost that 15-12. Hamilton, they had on Friday, lost 7-3. They're trying to get that revenge game here as Castaldo watches one in the outer half.
Yeah, and ever since Castaldo's taken over in the leadoff spot, it's been a totally different hitter than where he was in the first, 8 or 9 games of the season, I would say. The power's come back, and he's looking a lot more like himself. He takes ball 4 there.
And that's the typical Jordan Castaldo at bat that we have come so accustomed to seeing.
Is it ever?
He's been drawing walks at an alarming rate the last couple of weeks, and really when the Leafs went on that little span of getting the ball rolling again, it was on June 7th. They won against the Hamilton Cardinals, and they proceeded to win 3 out of 4 games in that little span. It looked like the season was possibly turning around again. They were starting to find the ball, and then this week things kind of fell off, got a little bit derailed. Justin Mara stepping up, the long-time Leafs catcher.
And speaking of walks, there are 3 Leafs right at the top of the leaderboards this season in terms of walks in the IBL. Jordan Castaldo, Justin Mara, and Ryan Dos Santos. And Castaldo's in 3rd. He now has 14. They've been seeing the ball a lot better of late.
And it comes down to really just the plan at the plate that these Maple Leafs have. We talked about it. It all starts with Jordan Castaldo in the leadoff spot. You get that guy to set the tone for the game and set the tone for the lineup, and things can kind of change. And that's what we've been seeing over the last little bit as the bats started to get hot. Throw over to first, not going to be in time.
Yeah, up until this weekend, they had a stretch of 7 straight games where they had 10 or more hits. The offense was clicking there. The power is back, multiple multi-home run games. It's putting up just a ton of runs, and it's just been a tough
line drive up the middle, and it's caught by the shortstop. And that'll be out number 1. I mean, Mara, he got a lot of that one, but unlucky, just right towards the shortstop.
Yeah, Duncan was well positioned there, another hard hit ball up the middle, and I mean, more often than not, when you rip a ball right back up the middle, that's getting through the infield, especially in the IBL. It was just a well-placed play by Tyler Duncan, who's, for the Hamilton Cardinals, a team that's far and away the best defensive team in the IBL this season. There's a wide gap in terms of errors made and fielding percentage between them and the 1 spot and just about everybody else that follows.
Popped right up to the mound, and unfortunate at bat. Marcus Connect swings on the first one, pops out to the pitcher.
Yeah, it's an interesting play right there to try and catch him napping, I guess. Connect the 3-hitter. He's one of the guys that has really turned it on of late, showing the power, and that's why he's hitting where he's hitting. But it's third baseman playing back. A man on first. Castaldo doesn't have blazing speed. I kind of get it. If you think you can push it up the third baseline there, Connect's a quick guy. We saw it with the play that he made in right field in the last inning, ranging over with the wind. Right idea, wrong execution. And something I was talking about before the game, which is interesting, Iguchi on the mound submariner, but he also throws overhand. Like, he gives you multiple different looks. He has multiple different pitches. He's not a very hard thrower, but going overhand, now he's back submarining it. It's two very, very different looks for these Leaf hitters.
Yeah, and it makes it very difficult to kind of find that release point, especially if you're a batter. You see him throwing overhand in your first at-bat, then he goes to the sidearm. Higuchi is just so smart, which is how he throws. You see it right there. Started Salazzo off with two sidearms and went back over, and Salazzo fouls it off. Jonathan Salazzo, one of the players that has been pretty hot all season for the Leafs, batting .306 in this one, and he had 3 at-bats yesterday in Welland, but it got cut short because he was one of the few that was ejected yesterday. Line drive to the shortstop, through for a base hit. And the Leafs have 2 on for Ryan Dos Santos. Talked about the fireworks that happened yesterday in Welland. Well, it was a lot. Mentioned earlier in the first inning, 6 Maple Leafs were ejected. Excuse me, 5 Leafs were ejected. But it all happened in the last, I want to say, 2 to 3 innings. The Leafs had the lead, and then it kind of unraveled in that bottom of the 7th. And then the fireworks started popping off in the 8th.
Have we mentioned how windy it is up here right now?
It is very windy, and again, I'm sure everybody can hear it through the microphones, how windy it actually is, but yeah, it said on the radar today it was supposed to be a windy day. I didn't think it was going to be this windy.
If a pop, and I was just down on the field fixing some equipment there, it's not windy down there. Like, there's almost no wind at all. And you get up here, which is kind of where that pop fly level is, and it's going to make things really interesting on high pop-ups here today. Here's the pitch to Ryan Dos Santos, and that one's low.
And we were mentioning earlier in the inning, a lot of Maple Leafs kind of drawing walks. Ryan Dos Santos, he's actually second on the team, as was mentioned, 15. He's seeing the ball really, really well, and he has that batting average sitting at .292.
2 on. And Dos Santos swings and misses, strike 3. So Higuchi gets out of the inning as well, much like Sam Green did in the top half of the first inning. To the second we go. Maple Leafs and Hamilton Cardinals still looking for the first run. Well, welcome back to Dominico Field, taking a look at the base on ball leaders in the Intercounty Baseball League this season. And I was just talking to Justin Mara. He said he's not really feeling as good as he would like to feel at the plate. But he also mentioned, he's like, I feel like I've been walking a lot. And I said, yeah, you're leading the Intercounty Baseball League in walks right now. He has 16, and this is a little bit because the Maple Leafs have played 18 games so far in the Intercounty Baseball League. So they got a few more games than most of the other teams in the IBL, but Justin Mara, Ryan Dos Santos, and Jordan Castaldo all drawing a lot of walks. And The name that surprises me up there is Ryan Dos Santos. That speaks to a much more disciplined approach that he's coming to the plate at this season.
Yeah, and it was kind of something that he wanted to make sure at the start of the year that he is getting back to doing, is just having that disciplined at bat, waiting for his pitch, not really chasing anything outside, and it's translated into his game to the start this season. And just to mention with Justin Mara, his numbers, his on-base percentage is sitting at .431. So I mean, it's impressive to say the least if you're able to be sitting over 400.
So, Dennis DeManning will lead things off. Has always hit well, it seems, here at Dominico Field. Dennis DeManning comes into this outing hitting .362. Good for second on the team in batting average. DeManning fouls the first pitch off. Dennis DeManning played for the Fort McMurray Giants in the 2022 season out in the Western Canadian League, also a former Humber Hawk. Pitch from Green in there for a strike, 1-2.
Yeah, and my first year at Humber, I got the privilege to see DeManning actually play, and really his play style, he is fast. He is a very electric player, and the bat speed through the zone, he gets it through at an electrifying pace.
That pitch is in the dirt. The wind is so strong up here that we're holding our laptops on the table. If we don't hold on to them, our laptops are on the pavement. It is just remarkably windy. And that wind is coming straight in from center field as well, so the power numbers are stunted today at Dominico Field, as they usually are quite high.
It's kind of swirling when you look at it, and obviously with the way that Dominico Field is, you have the hill, the wind just kind of rides up the hill. And that's why you're probably hearing it so much in the microphones and why we're feeling it so much.
Dennis DeManning gets a piece of that when it's just able to foul it off. Already action in the Maple Leafs bullpen as well. That looks like Julian Tomachko who's getting warmed up. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on a high fastball. Third strikeout for Sam Green. Yeah, that final season for Dennis DeManning and playing for the Humber Hawks, a .429 batting average, 5 homers in 14 games, 27 RBIs. Almost unheard of to have numbers like that anywhere.
Yeah, and if you follow college sports in Ontario, the OCAA, the baseball season is not long. It is about maybe a month, maybe month and a half max. You play, I want to say, anywhere from 9 to maybe 10 games a season. And where Humber plays out of Connervale Park, it is not an easy diamond to hit home runs in. Connervale is very deep to the corners, and center field, you just kind of forget about it. You're not going to really hit anything out of center field.
Yeah, 5 home runs in 14 games is good on its own.
A lot of Humber Hawks around the ballpark today. Justin Mara, former Hawk. Charlie Towers, currently on the team. Dennis DeManning, a former. And then also on Hamilton is Callum Blue, who's also a current Humber Hawk.
Tanner Rempel's at the plate, counts 2-1 as Sam Green delivers the ball. Tanner Rempel played Division II baseball between 2016 and 2021, playing for the Mesa State Mavericks in the NCAA. He hits this one in the air to center field, and this is where the wind is going to play a factor. It's coming in. Connor Lewis slides, and that one is going to, he got it. Boy, he was camped under that baseball and just kept coming in and in and in and got it right before it.
Yeah, it looked like him and Jose Vinicio kind of almost collided, but it was actually Vinicio coming away with the ball with a little over-the-shoulder Willie Mays style catch. But you mentioned the wind was going to play a factor, and it did right there. Lewis was in deep center field. He was kind of camped, expecting it just to fall to him, and then he kind of just took off in a dead sprint forward.
And this gust we're feeling right now is probably exactly what hit that ball out in center field. This is going to be interesting on a pop-up. Nothing is safe right now. Swing and a miss by Josh Niles.
Yeah, in the last week it was very hot, humid, and then it started to rain as well, and all the humidity from everywhere in the pavement, the asphalt, whatnot, started coming up. And today, just the wind. The wind decided to take off.
Josh Niles, another guy with some D1 experience, played for the Canisius Golden Griffins. And he takes strike 3 called. 2 strikeouts in the first, 2 strikeouts in the second. Sam Green rolling through 2, but I'm not sure what the pitch limit is on Sam Green. Either way, if that is it, an excellent couple innings of work by Sam Green here today. We head to the bottom of the second inning, and the bats for the Toronto Maple Leafs coming up. Well, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing for the Toronto Maple Leafs. It definitely signifies that they have some depth. These are all of the different pitchers that have started games for the Maple Leafs this season. Now, admittedly, some of these starts by Sam Green are more opener roles. That's what he's described it. Well, Hennis Alvarado has 6. Sam Green has a couple openers, and Angel Castro, who just joined the team, he has 3 starts. Marek Deska has been really good out of the bullpen, but he started a game as well. Maple Leafs have a lot of different options of who they're going to go through, and down the stretch, you'd have to imagine that part of the regular season in the IBL is figuring out what you got, and that'll be the decision for the Maple Leafs who their 3 starters will be come playoff time.
And I think you could, when you look at it, Angel Castro, the start he had yesterday in Welland, that kind of speaks volumes in itself. He went, I believe, 7 innings, only giving up 3. But a lot of those starts, you also got to remember, Sam Green, he missed some time. So there was guys that were kind of needing to fill in for him. You looked at the Marek Deska start. But, yeah, this, you have a lot of depth in the starting rotation. I think that's always been the promising thing about the Maple Leafs. If they have these arms, they know they have guys they can use.
Takaki Yuguchi on the mound for the Hamilton Cardinals, facing Connor Lewis, who made an excellent catch in center field. Benicio caught that ball?
Yeah, it was the over-the-shoulder Willie Mays style catch.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Okay, so that ball went.
It
way
died. That's what I said.
further
Yeah,
than I thought.
It died. It almost hit the lip of the grass. It was just behind second base.
Because Connor Lewis was camped in medium depth center field, thinking that he had a beat on that baseball.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah, that's the effect of the wind, I guess, here at Dominico Field. That ball got pulled in probably 80, 90 feet. Swing and a miss by Connor Lewis, strike 3. Takaki Yuguchi gets the strikeout. Yuguchi was excellent against the Maple Leafs last time he faced them. That was on June 7th. He went 4 innings, gave up just the 1 earned run. This was in a relief outing, but he struck out 8 Maple Leafs over that stretch. It's 2 strikeouts an inning.
And we kind of mentioned it in the bottom half of the first. He has that kind of that awkward release where he can go over the top, but he can also sidearm and submarine it.
Yeah.
So it makes it very difficult to kind of pick up what he's throwing, the rhythm that he's in, because he can change it pitch to pitch.
All sidearm here to start out this inning.
And as a hitter, it just gets so frustrating because you're sitting there expecting, the over-the-top fastball, and then you get a submarine-style sidearm, and it floats over the middle just like that.
Jesse Hodge is at the plate trying to deal with this delivery here from Yuguchi. He's behind in the count 1-2. Yuguchi came into this start with an ERA of 4.62 and 25 in the 3rd innings pitched. Hodges hits one hard on the ground. That one scooped up by Zach Marriott. He throws to first. One away. Or two away, I should say.
Second baseman number 6, Dan Mora.
Dan Mara comes to the plate for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Dan Mara hitting .256 on the season, which by his standards is pretty low. You have to imagine that that number will probably climb a bit as the season goes on. 10 hits and 39 at-bats for Mara. Mara hits a high chopper to third. Josh Niles fields it, throws to first in plenty of time, and that's a clean 1-2-3 inning for Takaki Iguchi of the Hamilton Cardinals. To the third we go here at Dominico Field, and it looks like Julian Tomachko is coming into the game. Well, Julian Tomachko knew he was going to be needed a lot this season. I talked to Sam Green before the year, and he said guys like Julian Tomachko are the guys who have to be the key guys to try and bridge the gap to the late inning relievers. And Julian Tomachko has been a workhorse so far for the Maple Leafs. He's appeared in 9 games, which leads any other Maple Leafs pitcher coming out of the bullpen, and he's had a solid start to the year. In fact, his numbers in games where he needs to be good have been a lot better in games when he's coming up in cleanup duty, and I think that kind of speaks to the nature of Julian Tomachko, because we saw that from him last year as well.
Yeah, it kind of started the year off. It looked, possibly like Tomachko was still trying to figure some things out, and then he went on a stretch of he just got red hot, and he started striking people out more. He had an inning against Barrie in a 11-3 loss on May 29th. He only pitched 1 inning, but he strike out 3 batters.
Yeah.
So you look at his numbers and what he's been able to do, and he's just been a solid arm to have, especially like you mentioned, to bridge that gap.
They may ask Julian Tomachko to go more than 1 inning today, which is something that he hasn't done since last season in the playoffs. Yeah, that's last season.
Yeah. Oh, I was looking at it. Yeah. It was just kind of funny going down, reading it. 1 inning, and then 1 and 1/3.
1 and 1/3 against Welland, yeah.
When's the last time he's gone official 2?
Never.
Wow.
Zach Marriott's at the plate, made a nice play at second base to get the second out of the inning for the Hamilton Cardinals last time.
Interesting. So that's actually something I never knew, that he's never officially gone 2 innings.
Here's the 1-2. And that one's fisted on the ground towards third. And it's interesting, because if I'm not mistaken, Julian Tomachko actually was a starting pitcher back in the day. He did it a little bit at McMaster, and then when he went and played out on the West Coast, he started games. In fact, he recorded the first ever win out in Sylvan Lake. They had a new stadium out there. And he was playing out on the West Coast in the Western Canadian League, and Julian Tomoshko put his name in the history books as a starter. Hits Zach Marriott when he had a 2-strike count, so he'll head down to first base, and that's a gift for the Hamilton Cardinals as Zach Marriott's aboard.
And if there has been just one issue with Julian Tomochko's season, it's just been the walks. He's given up at least one walk in every single appearance. Last time he had an inning where he didn't give up a walk, it was back on August 17th of last season against Barrie.
This is Brandon Nicholson, the former Welland Jackfish. He's been scuffling to start the year, although did have an infield hit in his last at-bat, scoring to bunt. And that's not just a bunt to try and move the runner over, Zach Marriott at first base. That's a bunt that Nicholson knows that he can reach on first base because he has incredible speed.
And yeah, we watched it in the first inning where he had that little hit to Jose Vinicio. He hustled down that line and he got there in plenty of time. We talked about the wind causing issues on the pop-up. Well, that was a high chopper, so that one might have just kind of died on Vinicio, and he still tried to take it right after the big hop.
So the stolen base numbers recently have been way down from Nicholson. As there's a pickoff throw to first base, and they got him. Zach Marriott was leaning the wrong way, took one step to second and the second step to first, and it was too late. That's a pickoff for Julian Tomochko, and that was a nasty move to first base as well.
That was fantastic. And I mean, again, I mentioned the issue that he's been having is just getting his walking batters. That's a great way to erase it right there. Now you're a fresh inning once more.
Facing Brandon Nicholson. So just to finish that point on the Nicholson speed, he's never had a number except for 2021 that even touched this, or 2022 I should say. But he had 48 stolen bases in 42 games in 2022. And that's the most ever by anyone in the Intercounty Baseball League's history.
So what you're saying is he has speed.
He has speed, but last season just 11 stolen bases in 20 games. This season he does have 8 in 15 games. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And all of a sudden, when things were looking good for the Hamilton Cardinals, they have 2 away and nobody on. Obviously, the speed numbers are still way up, but nothing like that season in Welland. To have 48 hits in a season is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
This one's hit on the ground. Jose Vinicio can't snare it on the backhand, and that's probably one that Vinicio will want back. As Julian Tomochko thought he was going to get out of the inning, but not the case. And this has been a bit of a story for the Maple Leafs this season. Shaky defense on the infield. That one might be charged to hit. Vinicio did have to go a long way to his backhand, but
it would have been a tough play even if he did come up with it. You think about some of the speed that Danny Berg had running down the line. One of the plays that could really go either way. I think that one's making it all the way to the road.
Unfortunately for Jose Vinicio.
And it hit a car.
Yeah, it's not good.
Wow. That was the loudest one I think we've had.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Vinicio, he has set the bar very high with his defense out there at shortstop.
I mean, last year, just the year Vinicio had defense and offensively, it was just sensational.
So Danny Berg is on first, and that brings the ever-dangerous Tyler Duncan to the plate. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one's low and in the dirt. Throw down to second base is in plenty of time. They got him. That is just a huge base running blunder that time from the Hamilton Cardinals. They get one runner picked off at first base, and then a delayed steal attempt on a pitch in the dirt is easily gunned down by Justin Mara. Danny Berg thrown out at second base. So an error on the infield by the Toronto Maple Leafs, but the Hamilton Cardinals give it right back, and we will be right back here from Dominico Field. welcome back to Dominico Field, and Lucas Alberti not in the lineup for the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight, but a big congratulations goes out to him. He gets his first Inter-County Baseball League hit, and Zach, he didn't just get his first hit. It was a home run in Welland. At the time, it was a massive run as well, and then he came out and got his second Inter-County Baseball League hit off of one of the IBL's best in Davey Mendez. So he was 2 for 4, and Lucas Alberti is showing some signs that he might be a productive bat in this Maple Leafs lineup.
And I know a lot of his teammates, they're very excited with Alberti and what he can give. I know there's a lot of hype around him of how he plays, and I mean, he's just kind of showed it. The home run he hit, that was almost a no-doubter. It kind of just ended up right behind the wall in Welland, but he got a good hold of it and sent it for a ride.
So the second hit that he got was off Davey Mendez, and Lucas Alberti did actually come in to score. Now, we have said many times on the broadcast that Davey Mendez has never given up a run in the regular season, as this one's fouled down the left field line by Jose Vinicio. Well, we've learned that the Welland Jackers may be hiding the earned runs by Davey Mendez because he was not in the score line last night. Lucas Alberti came in and scored an earned run on an RBI single by Jordan Castaldo, yet he got the save, but they failed to include him in the box scores. This one's hit into the outfield and down for Jose Vinicio. Speed is aboard for the Maple Leafs. And in talking to some Maple Leafs players today, I thought maybe it's just a mistake, but in talking to some Maple Leafs players today, I remember a game last year where the Maple Leafs got one run off of Davey Mendez as well. It was an RBI double by Justin Mara, I believe, and that didn't show up on the ERA as well. So we'll have to look into it a little bit further. It may just be a scoring mistake that has happened to keep alive a very, very unbelievable record in the Inter-County Baseball League with the regular season streak by Davey Mendez, but that should probably be looked into because one earned run is a lot more than zero, especially with the kind of record that Davey Mendez has had. Now, that being said, Davey Mendez is probably the best pitcher in the Inter-County Baseball League, but he should have an ERA in the regular season.
Yeah, and I was just about to say that, and that's not to take away anything Davey Mendez has done in his IBL career. Still a fantastic pitcher and one of the best, like you said, if not the best. But, he wasn't on the box score last night, and it was very clear as day that we saw him come into the game. And I mean,
Narco did play.
Yeah, we saw the trumpets, we saw their the jumbotron, and if I wasn't mistaken, it did say Davey Mendez, with the Welland Jackfish mascot playing the trumpet.
Vinicio fakes like he's gonna go, and that one's low and in the dirt. And Jose Vinicio, I think he was a bit mad at himself there because that was a great pitch to run on, but he pulled back right after he got his jump.
And
so Jordan Castaldo is at the plate ahead in the count 2-0.
And I was just going to say that run that did score, I mean, you could have possibly said it was an error. It was a very close play in left field, but I mean, either way, I'd still would give it a hit.
True. But he wasn't in the box score. Yeah. But he recorded the save. I don't even know how you do that on point streak.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Jordan Castaldo takes a strike there from Iguchi. Count was 3-0. Now he takes strike 1, 3-1. One on, nobody out for the Maple Leafs, trying to capitalize. Here's a throw to first base, very close. Jose Vinicio looked like he was leaning just a little bit, but his first step was back to first base. He had a big lead. There's never a time when Jose Vinicio isn't thinking about taking off to second base. The 3-1 pitch to Castaldo. This one's hit on the ground, flipped to second for one, on to first, and plenty of time, double play. And the Maple Leafs are now going to need some two-out magic to try and cash one in here in the bottom of the third.
Number 9, Justin Mora.
So that brings the Inter-County Baseball League's walk leader, Justin Mara, to the plate. And uh-oh. The rain's starting to pour down here at Dominico Field, so we will do our best to try and keep this broadcast going for you, but like we said, we do not have.
It's starting
tent
to.
today.
Yeah, it's coming down.
Okay, we got. Okay, can I borrow some of your sweater here?
We can try. We're gonna try. That's for sure. Oh, hold on.
Hold on. We're
might-
saving it.
We might be cooking.
Don't worry about the TV. Worry about the TV. Yeah. Mara swings and misses. Taki Iguchi has thrown just about as many balls as he has strikes in this outing so far. He has been effectively wild to start out this game against the Maple Leafs. Mara swings and misses, counts now 2-2. Holding everything together here on the Maple Leafs broadcast, although the rain is starting to stop.
Unfortunately, I've had to close my laptop, so.
Justin Mara hits one out to center field. The Wind's got it. It's hooking, and it's caught out in center field. And that will end the inning. So Taki Iguchi gets through another frame. The double play ball helps him out on a ball hit to second base by Jordan Castaldo. Through 3 at Dominico Field. Still 0-0. Hampton Cardinals, Maple Leafs. We'll be right back. Well, Tyler Duncan is at the plate to start things off, and Julian Tomoshko will enter his second inning of work. So, trying to do something that he has not done in the Intercounty Baseball League and get through 2 innings. There's also no one warming up in the bullpen for the Maple Leafs. First pitch is
Almost
fouled
just
off.
hit the ice cream truck.
Yeah, went into someone's bush across the street. Here's the 0-1. Tomochko trying to get a dangerous hitter in Tyler Duncan and delivers outside, counts now 1-1. So just a list of some of the damage that's happened at Dominico Field today. Two of our crew members have severe rope burn on their hands. from the wind. Our tent is broken in like 7 places.
Yep.
The dugout cover on the top of the Maple Leafs dugout, one of the corners came off and it got shredded.
Yep.
And we're on the top of the 4th.
And we're still bringing you some Maple Leafs baseball.
Yeah, and
Brought to you by MNP.
multiple times my equipment has come crashing down, which probably has broken it too, so that's going to be a problem tomorrow. So 3-1. The last thing Tomoshko wants to do is let Tyler Duncan get on here. And he delivers up and away ball 4, so that will happen. And now the gauntlet of Welland Jackfish, just looking at the box score from yesterday. Hamilton Cardinal hitters is going to come to the plate with Luis Bernardo, Connor Hicks, and Dennis DeBanning all tearing the cover off the baseball to start the year. First task for Tomoshko will be Luis Bernardo, hitting .328 on the season. Duncan running at first base. Bernardo lines this one into center field. Connor Lewis coming in, makes the catch. He'll have no play at first base as Duncan realized right away that that ball was going to get caught out in center field.
And Lewis thought about it, and then he just kind of elected just to get it back out in the infield.
Catcher number 24, Connor Hicks.
So one away, Connor Hicks now at the plate. Tyler Duncan wasting no time heading to second base, although his jump wasn't great. It was almost like that was a hit and run with Luis Bernardo at the plate. He has excellent bat-to-ball skills. And now this one's popped up. The wind has it. It's pulling it towards foul territory. John Salazzo moving right with it, and he makes the catch 2 away. And now an excellent opportunity for Julian Tomoshko to get through a scoreless inning. By the way, this is now his longest IBL outing.
Right fielder number 16, Dennis DeBanning.
So Dennis DeBanning, the Toronto, Ontario native, hitting .356 at the plate. Sun's starting to come out here at Dominico Field. Dennis DeBanning playing in his 3rd season, the 4th season with the Hamilton Cardinals, as he takes slow 2-0. Yeah. So now both tarps on top of the dugout are gone, although I think the one on top of the Hamilton dugout didn't get shredded. It was just a precautionary thing. Tomoshko behind in the count. 2-0 on DeBanning. And DeBanning smashes this one towards center field. Connor Lewis over. He can't make the catch. It one hops up against the wall. Tyler Duncan is speeding around first base. Here's the cutoff, and it's dropped by Jose Vinicio, and Tyler Duncan will come in to score. It would have been a close play at the plate, you would have thought, and the Hamilton Cardinals lead 1-0.
And I think the Leafs right now are just a little bit fortunate that the wind was playing a factor, because I think that ball, without any wind, that might be sailing right over the fence. It one-hopped right in front of the wall.
Maybe. It was a low liner, so it might have stayed out of the jet stream, which does kind of exist up near the hilltop of Dominico Field. So one run does come in to score. Looked like Julian Tomoshko was going to get out of the inning, but that wall was smashed to center field as Dennis DeBanning found a pitch he liked, and it doesn't get much easier now with the .310 batting Tanner Rempel out of Abbotsford, British Columbia.
And it's the old phrase that always comes back and bites you, saying leadoff walks, they always come back to bite you in the back.
Tanner Rempel playing Division II baseball between 2016 and 2021 was unbelievable. He hit .363 in his career with an OPS of 1.066. That one gets away from Justin Mara, and that will advance DeBanning to third base. So 1-0 Hamilton Cardinals. This one's fouled off. Tanner Rempel at the plate with the ball sneaking away from Justin Marr, it allows the runner to move up to third base. So you'd have to imagine that any single here by Rempel will be good enough to drive in another run. And with the wind playing a factor, a fly ball could do that as well. This one's up high, counts now 3-1 on Rempel. That one misses ball 4, so second walk of the inning for Julian Tomochko. The first one came in to score on the RBI double, and now there's runners at the corners, and that's going to bring Sam Green to the mound, who goes from pitcher to pitching coach. And he's going to have a chat here with Julian Tomochko. Tomochko obviously in deeper than he really ever has been in his IBL career, usually a one-inning guy. So no one up in the bullpen. Sam Green probably just some words of encouragement here saying, you know, we need you here. Maple Leafs don't have a ton of guys down the bullpen today. After the 5-man ejection yesterday, the one guy who paid the price was Dustin Richardson, who is suspended for 1 game. So they won't have him out of the bullpen, which is unfortunate for the Maple Leafs because Dustin Richardson only threw a couple pitches in that game against the Welland Jackfish.
Yeah, I think it was only 6, maybe 7 pitches he threw. It wasn't a lot.
Yeah. Well, and if you missed it last night, you can go check it out on YouTube. I think it was in the 7th inning, but Dustin Richardson came into the game. He had 2 runners on. A wild pitch got away, which allowed the Jackfish to tie the game, and then a close play at first base was disputed by most of the Maple Leafs. First it was the coach, Brian Sewell, who got thrown out of the game, and then the train continued with Dustin Richardson getting into it with the umpire, and then eventually John Salazzo is the pitch. This one's hit to center field, hanging up for Connor Lewis. He runs over, he makes the catch on the fly, and that will do it for the Hamilton Cardinals in the top of the 4th inning, although they do get a big RBI double with 2 outs from Dennis DeBanning, and that makes it 1-0 Hamilton Cardinals. So just on the Maple Leafs ejections yesterday, I thought this was an interesting comment from Garrett Takamatsu, who was in the IBL fans Facebook group and sent this message. This was to John Salazzo, the John Salazzo ejection. He said, "There's always been a mutual respect between umpires and players where we can justify a call in a very civil way. This year it has been different, where there have been multiple very quick ejections with little to no explanation." Then he went on to talk about John Salazzo, and he said, "Salazzo is one of the most veteran players in the league and arguably the nicest player," which I can agree with as well. "Something must have been said to break the mutual respect for him to act out of character." Obviously, we don't have any insight on what exactly was said, although it was very out of character for John Salazzo to get ejected. From what I've heard, it didn't take a lot for Salazzo to get thrown out. And the crazy thing about that for John Salazzo is that he has never been ejected in his 14-year Intercounty Baseball League career. So obviously that was something that hit home with John Salazzo when he got thrown out.
Yeah, and when you look at really how that game went, that 7th inning, again, there's usually a lot of mutual respect between umpires, players, and whatnot, and it's able to handle it a civil way. It just seemed that the umpires had a very quick trigger on who was to be ejected. We saw Dustin Richardson, I think, was the first one, then the manager, and then it just kept going and going from there.
Yeah. An interesting situation, obviously the same umpire with the whole debacle with the Guelph Royals that happened with the Maple Leafs were playing in that game as well, except they were on the other side of it. And now for that umpire, it's 13 ejections in 3 games. So, well, he's got his work cut out for him when it comes to paperwork. That's for sure.
It's a long day in the office.
Yaguchi's pitch fouled off there by Marcus Connect. He's behind in the count 0-2, or 1-2.
And how about the little comeback in the season Marcus Connect has had? He started the year off as ice cold as you possibly can. He's turned that into a .269 batting average, and he's been pretty electrifying for the Leafs.
This one's in the air, swirling and coming down and making the catch. That's Dennis Gabanning. How about that? Connect catch?
I heard it.
By the way, I made a mistake on that running catch by Marcus Connect in the outfield. I said it was Ryan DeSantis. It's actually Marcus Connect playing right field today for the Maple Leafs, and that was a fantastic grab in the corner with that ball tailing towards him, and then at the last minute realized he had a chance at it and snared it. That would have been a fair ball as well. Salazzo at the plate, a power hitter for the Maple Leafs, but that power is getting knocked down today as the wind is blowing from dead right field.
If you kind of look at the flags, it looks like it's swirling from pushing right from the pitcher to the home plate to going center to left. So the right-handed hitters might have a little bit of help if they can get it into the air.
The 2-0 is up high on John Salazzo, now 1-2.
I don't think lefties are going to have a lot of fun pulling the ball today.
No. But John Salazzo has had some success hitting the ball the other way for the Maple Leafs this season. His last 2 home runs have come oppo taco, if you will. Salazzo reaching for that one and fouls it off. Another off-speed pitch from Tataki Iguchi.
Iguchi has had a very good start so far. You look at what he's been able to do. He's just limited damage almost every single inning. He had the 1-2-3 in the second, and then other than that, it's been 2 hits and 1 walk has been all the damage the Maple Leafs can muster.
The 2-strike pitch to Salazzo, and he fouls it off. Another breaker there from Iguchi, and Salazzo's been out in front. He's waiting for a fastball from Tataki Iguchi. Unfortunately, he doesn't throw a lot of those. Another 1-2. And Salazzo swings and misses. Strike 3 as Iguchi blew it by him. So John Salazzo is retired, and that brings up Ryan Dos Santos. Ryan Dos Santos also one of those players that was ejected from last game, but back at it today. Got ejected on a disputed strike 3 call. That ball gets away at home plate. Tataki Iguchi was running into cover, but there's no need for that. Oh, it was bunted off at home plate. Ryan Dos Santos with 3 home runs and 14 RBIs this season for Toronto. He takes a strike, so the count's now 0-2.
He started in the bottom half of the lineup. It was usually the 8 or 9 hitter, and he's kind of worked his way up here to batting 5th. And he's kind of made a name for himself in the 5 spot.
Salazzo fouls it off. Talking to Jeff Lounsbury before the season, Ryan Dos Santos was one of the players that Jeff was excited about when it came to what he thought was going to happen, and he predicted some power numbers as well from Ryan Dos Santos, and that's come to fruition so far this season. He's been swinging the bat well to start the year, especially when it comes to driving it out of the ballpark. He bounces one foul to the right side.
He's a batter that's very critical about his swing and very mechanical when he goes through his motions. If you ever get the chance during pregame, if you see him at the fence warming up, he goes through his motion very particularly, and he follows a very distinct kind of method.
A superstition or mechanical?
It kind of looks more mechanical, just the way he goes about his business when working through his swing. I know a couple times in the off season when he went into the batting cage, he's hitting the ball hard, but he says he feels things that aren't right.
Dos Santos fouls this one off to the left.
and that ball picked up in the dugout, or excuse me, the bullpen. I believe that's Dustin Richardson.
Yeah, so we may have been fed false information as to the suspension by Dustin Richardson. Since he's in uniform for the Maple Leafs, I'm thinking maybe he wasn't suspended. Strike 3 called right at the knees. What a pitch there from Takaki Yuguchi, and he gets another strikeout in the inning. That retires the Maple Leafs, and Yuguchi for the past 3 innings, I believe, has faced the minimum for the Toronto Maple Leafs. 1-0 Hamilton Cardinals on a windy day here at Dominico Field. Well, at one point, the Toronto Maple Leafs looked like they were in a position to win this game against the Welland Jackfish. This was just last night. They ended up losing the game 7-5, got a run late, but it was too late. It was an all right start from Angel Castro. He's had some trouble facing the Welland Jackfish this season. He kept the Maple Leafs in it. They had a lead at one point. Lucas Alberti was a real bright spot for the Maple Leafs, and Jordan Castaldo just keeps on hitting. So that on-base streak for Castaldo is now at 50 games. And then obviously all the ejections really hurt the Maple Leafs' chances, as they had John Salazzo, who probably would have had a chance to get another at-bat. More importantly, Dustin Richardson only got to throw 6 or 7 pitches, and they were hoping he probably would have finished out the game in the 7th inning. But that was a tough one to swallow for the Maple Leafs last night.
Yeah, and it started so promising. You get a good start out of Angel Castro, and just to have kind of things unravel like that, obviously the Maple Leafs, they didn't want that to happen. They didn't want the issues to arise with the umpiring and just everything going on in that game. But this is the beauty about baseball, is you get to play the next day, so you get a chance to kind of shake things off and work on the craft and regain and fix everything the following day.
Julian Tomachko back on the mound, entering his 3rd inning of work for the Maple Leafs. And Zach, you'd have to think if Tomachko can get through this inning, that will go a long way. Hey.
Long time no see.
We see our first sighting of Dan Procopio in the broadcast booth. That's a great sign for Maple Leafs.
Oh, that'll be.
Heard it here first.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you could hear that behind us or not, but that's Dan Procopio making his first appearance here at Dominico Field. Here with his family. I see he's got the newborn kid here as well. There we go. So Zach Marriott draws the walk.
So yeah, you heard those kind of questions going through the season. Will he return? Well, you heard it there first from the man himself.
That'll be a big boost for the Maple Leafs on the mound. We've mentioned how many starting pitchers that they've gone through to try and find that guy. Dan Procopio over the last couple of years has been the usual Sunday starter. Last time he faced Hamilton, I'm not sure if this was the last outing, but he had one of the best outings we've ever seen at Dominico Field, where he went through 6 innings and struck out 13 Hamilton Cardinals, as that gust of wind just blew my laptop closed.
Yep, that's how I've elected to kind of just keep mine closed, because already a couple times it has gone flying.
Some of the banners also starting to come down in the outfield for the Maple Leafs, so that could be a big problem as well.
Like I mentioned, the wind's blowing from center to left, so hopefully nobody is able to get the ball to right field. If there was one player you think would be able to do it against the wind, Who would you take?
To hit it out?
Yeah.
John.
That's exactly who I was
Yeah.
thinking as well.
John. And on the Hamilton side of things, Tyler Duncan. I think he's their best hitter. Brandon Nicholson squaring to bunt for the second at bat in a row. Nicholson once again has Zach Marriott at first base, who once again reaches via the walk, and Nicholson is up in the count 3-0. He's bunting again, and he bunts it foul on 3-0.
3-0 green light to bunt.
No, actually, I think the count is the count was 2-1. 2-1, my mistake.
And that's our banners, as we were talking about.
Yeah, so now the count 2-2. So that makes a little bit more sense.
Warming in the bullpen, you can see Adam Mara.
That one's outside, so now that's ball 3, and a big flick of the head there from almost everyone on the infield on the Maple Leafs. Julian Tomasco really wanted that call, and now he's going to have to battle. With a full count here on Nicholson, the last thing he wants to do is put 2 runners on with nobody out, especially with the speed of Brandon Nicholson. A big 3-2 pitch. Runner goes outside, ball 4, and the window of opportunity is wide open here for the Hamilton Cardinals in the top of the 5th.
And I believe we might see a pitching change here, possibly. Again, Adam Mara's thrown in the bullpen, and manager Brian Sewall will go to the mound, and that's exactly what we'll see.
So pitching change at Dominico Field. Julian Tomasco hoping those runners can stay on first and second. It's a 1-0 Hamilton Cardinals lead, and we'll be right back.
So Adam Mara will step in and do the work here, and he'll inherit 2 runners on from Julian Tomasco. Last appearance for Mara was June 19th against Guelph in that 15-12 loss. He went 1 inning, 3 hits, 1 earned run, and 1 strikeout. Trying to get out of this jam and hold the damage to as minimal as possible. Squaring around to bunt, will pull it back in time. It's Danny Berg, who has walked in, reached via an error in his 2 plate appearances.
Yeah, and we've seen the top of this Cardinals lineup multiple times now in their top 2 try and drop down bunts to advance runners, and it hasn't worked so far. We saw the Leafs try and do it in the first inning as well.
Bunts it this time, third to Salazzo, but it'll be foul.
We saw Connect pop one up. We saw Dos Santos try and get one down. We've seen the Cardinals do it a couple times now.
This is where things kind of get scary. We keep talking about it, but after Berg, it's like murderer's row here for the Hamilton Cardinals with Tyler Duncan, Luis Bernardo, Connor Hicks, Dennis DeBanning. All guys batting over 300 and having a phenomenal year. Squaring around a bunt once more, high and inside, so it's a ball. He'll pull it back.
Yeah, and that's something we've said a lot lately. We talked about it about Welland yesterday, their great offense. The Guelph Royals, when they came here to see the resurgence of Josh Garton and Andy Leader coming over in a trade. It's about 4 or 5 games in a row now where they haven't been able to catch a break with the middle of the order guys that they're facing in these games.
Here's the pitch from Mara. Bunts it down perfectly, and Salazzo will grab it, throw to first, will be in time. So both runners will advance on the sac bunt. And I mentioned the dangerous hitter Tyler Duncan will step to the plate here. He walked and scored his last time up.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about dangerous. Former MVP of the IBL. The guy has great bat-to-ball skills. He has power. He's a lefty guy in the middle of this Hamilton lineup that's been having a very good season offensively, as you mentioned.
So we'll see the infield play in. Salazzo, Vinicio, Dan Mara, all on the grass. It looks like Castaldo's the only one that's kind of playing just even with the bag. And again, the wind is a massive factor in this one so far. Duncan fouls this one off right up the hill.
Yeah, we've talked about it a bunch. Mara's ability to, at his best of times, induce soft contact, and you got to have one right here.
This one popped out of play once more, so good spot here for Dan Mara.
And to his credit, that's what he's done. These last 2 swings, these foul-offs, have not been overly aggressive swings. They've been off-speed pitches on the outer third of the plate to Duncan, and he's fouled both of them off in the same area.
Here's the 0-2 to Duncan, and high and inside for a ball.
And we've seen that with Mara so recently as just the other day here, his off-speed pitches have so much movement. He doesn't throw a hard fastball, but what he does is he utilizes it so effectively that fastball of his is a couple ticks higher coming into the batter.
Line drive, foul.
Than what otherwise would be. You see all these hard fastballs from, we've been talking about Davey Mendez. Julian Tomachko just exited the game. Junior Valdez is a hard fastball. Dustin Richardson.
The key thing when you're pitching is if you're able to control multiple pitches and kind of work the quadrants of the zone, you can be a good pitcher. And it's what Adam Mara does so well. Again, like you mentioned, Gus, he doesn't have a lot of that speed in his pitches, but he has a lot of mix and has a lot of movement on almost all of them.
Yeah, we were talking about it just the other day. I said he had 3 or 4 off-speed pitches with 2 or 3 types of movement to him. And loses Duncan there.
That was ahead 0-2, and Duncan just works the walk. So now you'll kind of see the infield, or the middle infield at least, will play back here, elect to try to get the double play, as Luis Bernardo will come up to bat.
Yeah, and if there's a double play candidate in the middle of this Hamilton lineup, it's Luis Bernardo. He's a fantastic hitter, but he is their catcher. And with so much speed, we talked about Brandon Nicholson, Danny Berg, Tyler Duncan. Now's the time to get a ground ball right back up the middle.
Pop fly to shallow center field. Tagging at third is Merritt, and he's not going to go home, but nobody's at first. So Duncan, he went flying off the base at first, but thankfully for the Hamilton Cardinals, nobody was there to cover. And I think the Leafs right there are thanking the wind, because that ball, again, it went up into that jet stream and immediately died off.
Oh, it knocked it down immensely. I'm not entirely sure that was a misplay by Duncan at first. He's aware enough, no one's around him. You have an overthrow, if Lewis guns it into the catch there and it goes to the fence, and then a runner takes off, if it's knocked down and bobbled, it's a heads-up play. He's already halfway to second base.
Shot into right field, but Connect will be there. So Adam Mara comes in with 2 on and nobody out, and he holds the line. Maple Leafs will go to bat here in the bottom half of the 5th.
Well, what a job done by Adam Mara to get the Maple Leafs out of the jam. The bases were loaded, but gets a fly out to end the inning and navigates a tough part of the order for the Hamilton Cardinals as Connor Lewis torques this one foul to the left.
And you can see how far that ball sailed off of Lewis's
Yeah.
bat. The wind is pushing straight out to left field. If any of these right-handed hitters on the Maple Leafs can get a hold of something, this game could be tied up just like that.
The Maple Leafs and Connor Lewis had a great offensive day against Brantford last Sunday. As Lewis hits this one in the air, just a little pop-up to the left side. It's playable, and the catch is made at third base.
Designated winner number 19, Jesse Hodges.
It's going to bring Jesse Hodges to the plate with Dan Mara on deck. Jesse Hodges hasn't got a lot of opportunity to play this season. Just 19 at-bats coming into today. And he takes outside.
And we saw last year how important Hodges' bat can actually be to this lineup, and I'm sure they want to get him here more often, involved in the lineup more, and get that bat rolling like it was his last season.
Gucci takes low. I can see a huge gust of wind coming. Yeah, I can see the flags. Two banners are down in the outfield. It is carnage at Dominico Field, but it's nice and sunny and it's warm. Off-speed pitch swung right through by Jesse Hodges.
Well, we might have to get a down banner counter going.
Two.
Out of how many? Let me count.
2-1 the count on Jesse Hodges.
So we're 2 for 18 right now.
Fouled off, counts now 2-2. Well, we talked about the fact that Iguchi was throwing almost as many strikes as he was balls. Well, that's not the case anymore. He has been pounding the zone over the last 3 innings. 44 strikes, 21 balls at this point. That one floats in and just missed the plate. Count now full. It's been a common theme where we've seen experienced, good baseball players have trouble with some of the soft tossers in the Intercounty Baseball League. Jesse Hodges has not seen the baseball very well out of Iguchi's hand. He lines this one to second base. That time he waited as long as he could and got pretty good wood on it, but Zach Marriott was right there to make the catch. So 2 away, Dan Mara coming to the plate. And Mara and then Jose Venicio if it gets that far. Mara flares this one in the air. This one's to right field, but it hangs up just enough. The wind pushing that one back into fair territory. Dennis DeBanning is there to make another nice running catch. Well, the Maple Leafs have only been able to muster 2 hits against Tataki Iguchi, who has been rolling in this one so far. 5 shutout innings, and it's 1-0 Hamilton Cardinals.
Banning.
Welcome back to Toronto Maple Leafs Baseball on YouTube, brought to you by MNP, and new pitcher into the game for the Maple Leafs. That's Julian Valdez, who was rolling along to start the season and then had a rough outing in his last one. Pitched against Guelph 3 1/3, gave up 5 earned runs on 9 hits, and that's what's been sinking the ERA for Valdez at the moment.
Valdez has an electric arm. We know he has a lot of power in it. It just always comes down to that control. And we've seen at some points in the season that he finds the control, and at other points, like you mentioned, where it kind of goes wild again.
Good start to this outing, ahead in the count, 1-2 to Dennis DeManning.
Yeah, we saw just 2 fastballs. That was a +1 on the lower outer half. Just got to Banning kind of waving at it.
Nothing Hamilton Cardinals. Hits have been hard to come by in this one. The Maple Leafs have just 2. Hamilton has 3. Maple Leafs have got some strong pitching from Julian Tomochko and Sam Green so far in this game. And Valdez now trying to keep the line going.
Can't forget Adam Mara.
And Adam Mara.
The clutch appearance he had right there. I mean, that's a massive point in this game. And you know, if the pitching can keep holding up like it has, that could be a big turning point for the Leafs.
Line drive. Marcus Connect right there makes the catch. 1 away. Another hard hit ball by Dennis DeManning. This time it finds the glove of the Maple Leafs outfield.
Again, don't get me wrong, it's a very hot day. The wind feels great, but the wind is very heavy.
And if you could see the center field camera slowly falling away in center field, that is the wind pushing it off the tripod. That's how much wind there is here at Dominico Field. Tanner Rempel at the plate. Valdez finds the strike zone. The count's 1-1.
Valdez looking electric right now. Just the arm, the speed, and the mechanics. It's kind of just in a good flow state.
Tanner Rempel 0 for 1 with a walk. The 1-1 check swing. Did he go? Yes, says the first base umpire. That counts now 1-2. Maple Leafs could really use a quick inning here from Valdez to get the bats back up. This game feels like it still has some runs left in it, although it's been strong pitching from Yaguchi on the other side. The 1-2 pitch. Popped up, foul. That one's out of play behind home plate.
And working quickly here is Valdez. Like he's getting the ball on the mound, and he's almost instantaneously right back into his motion.
Another 1-2 pitch here on Rempel. Just missed low and inside. Tanner Rempel battling. Counts now 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. Rempel swings and misses at a nasty breaking ball from Valdez, and there's 2 away.
That was a beautiful off speed. Looked like the slider kind of just tailed inside, and then it just broke off last second, and Rempel just could not hold back.
So Tanner Rempel's over 2. So is Josh Niles, the Port Stanley, Ontario native. hitting .219 this season. Niles takes strike one. The Hamilton Cardinals have done a really good job this season of finding really good Canadian baseball players, especially when it comes to the batters. The likes of Tyler Duncan, and Niles is another one of those guys with Division I experience. Brandon Nicholson, I know, has been an import in the past as he's from New York. I think he might be filling one of the import spots again for the Hamilton Cardinals, but he's been playing in Canada and the IBL for a while. Connor Hicks, Danny Berg. The 0-2, up high. Counts now 1-2. Zach Marriott is on deck. He has walked and been hit by a pitch, so Marriott still hasn't had an official at bat yet. The 1-2 to Niles. And this one's hit towards left field, hooking into foul territory, and that is a fair ball down the line. It bounces up against the wall. Josh Niles racing into second base. He has himself a double. And the Hamilton Cardinals have a runner in scoring position, although with two away in the top of the sixth.
That one just kind of kept sailing and it just stayed tucked in right between that line. And, you know, for Josh Niles, good piece of hitting right there. Fell down 1-2 and keeps the hands inside and is able to drive it right down that left field line.
The wind not helping that baseball either, hooking it towards the line. So Zach Marriott was 1 for 4 in the last game against the Toronto Maple Leafs. That was a 7-3 win for the Hamilton Cardinals, and their game got rained out last night. So that game on Friday was the last game that Hamilton's played. So they may just be a little bit fresher when it comes to arms in the bullpen and legs on the field, as the Maple Leafs are playing their second game in as many days. Or 3-3, I guess, as well. Here's a pickoff move to second base, and it bounces in the dirt. The throw was in time at second base, but it was in the dirt.
And it helps keeping the arms fresh when you have Iguchi on the other side pitching the way he is. I mean, he's going into the 6th inning right now of just really solid performing on the mound.
Marriott riding a 3-game hit streak, trying to extend it here and drive in the run. The pitch just outside. Valdez has now fallen behind 2-0.
And got to give some credit to the base runner, Josh Niles. He is dancing out there on the line. He's drawing Valdez's attention a lot right now. Saw Valdez have a lengthy look back at him the pitch prior, and then he kind of released it arm high.
Valdez trying to find the zone here against Marriott. And he will, on a call that Zach Marriott disputed, thought it might have been up or maybe a bit in. So the 2-1. And that one finds the zone as well. 2 sharp fastballs from Julian Valdez has got himself right back in the count. And we'll see if he goes back to it. He did get Tanner Rempel to chase a nasty breaking ball for the strikeout just a couple batters ago. See if he goes back to the well. The 2-2 pitch. It is the breaking ball and it misses just inside.
That's a good job by Zach Marriott.
Yeah.
To just kind of hold back. You know, you have that pitch breaking into you. It looks like it's a fastball down the middle, and he just did not take the bat off his shoulders. That is a fantastic job of resilience.
The full count pitch. Runner in scoring position for Hamilton. And that one slashed down the line, foul ball. Nice catch made there by Dionysius Chialtis, wearing the catcher's gear in the bullpen.
Now, if we were playing banana ball in Savannah Bananas, that would be considered an out.
Is it? If the bullpen players catch
I
it?
believe so. I believe if it just gets caught, it's okay. I know, obviously, the rule of
If the fan
fans make
catches
the
it,
catch.
yeah.
There was an electrifying one the other day.
3-2, And once again, dancing off the bag was Josh Niles, but he'll have to retreat back. Julian Valdez has looked like he's had Josh Niles' number out there at second base. It's just a matter of getting on the same page with Jose Benicio. Focus now turns to the plate. The 3-2 pitch. And it's in the dirt, ball 4. The inning will extend. Brandon Nicholson comes to the plate. He's 1 for 2 today, has struck out and walked. And then Danny Berg, Tyler Duncan, Luis Bernardo, the next 3 coming up, and you do not want those guys to come up with runners on base.
It looked like that last pitch, Mara and Valdez just kind of crossed up. You just see there, they went over to discuss the signs. Umpire signals no mound visit. It looked like he went fastball low, and then Mara was just not expecting it because he didn't go down and make the typical block. He kind of popped up a little bit and just kind of trapped it with the backhand.
Nicholson has been fully committed to a bunt in each of his last 2 at-bats, but now he comes up with 2 outs, so he'll need to drive in the run by swinging the bat. And he takes low, ball 1. Now the command from Julian Valdez starting to waver just a little bit in this top of the 6th inning.
Again, a lot of the last at-bat against Marriott, it was Niles on second base playing those mind games with Valdez, and Valdez took a couple extra long looks and kind of cost him a couple pitches.
The 1-0 to Nicholson. And that one misses inside, 2-0. A pitch that just missed from Valdez, but now Nicholson has found himself in a hitter's count, and this is a batter who has had some really successful seasons in the Inter-County Baseball League, despite this one not being a great start. The 2-0. Swinging a line drive. This one's to center field. Coming in is Connor Lewis. He plays it on a hop. 1 run is going to come in to score. That's Niles. And the Hamilton Cardinals are productive with 2 outs, and they lead 2-0.
And that one, you can see again, it so heartily comes down to just the wind breaking that ball. Looked like Lewis could have just caught it on the run, and it just slowly kept dying.
Left fielder number 3, Danny Berg.
So that one gets knocked down in center field for the Maple Leafs, and the Hamilton Cardinals have taken a 2-0 lead. We'll see if just Kaki Iguchi is coming back on the mound. As this one's fouled off by one of the more dangerous hitters in the IBL right now in Danny Berg.
Again, you were down there fixing the cameras and whatnot, and just saying this part of the order, it's like murderer's row for Hamilton right now.
And I'll be down there again next inning. Hit on the ground. Scooped up by Dan Mara. He throws to first to limit the damage for the Maple Leafs. But with 2 outs, the Hamilton Cardinals get a double and then an RBI single by Brandon Nicholson and lead 2-0 over the Maple Leafs. We'll be right back here at Dominico Field.
Welcome back to a very windy bottom of the 6th inning here at Dominico Field. We talked a lot about the Leafs' power recently, and you see two Maple Leafs creeping into the top 5. Jonathan Salazzo and Jordan Castaldo both on a bit of a tear, each of them over the last 6 or 7 games. Seth Strong remains up front. Josh Garton, we saw the resurgence of him, Zach, just the other day here, hitting 2 home runs against the Maple Leafs. And Steven Moretto, of course, one of the most prolific hitters in the IBL this season as well. But it's nice to see the power start to come around for these Maple Leafs.
Yeah, Leafs have 2 players with 4, and then Dos Santos with 3, and then a couple players with 2. Here in the bottom half of the 6th, it'll be 9-1-2 for the Maple Leafs, due up. Jose Vinicio leading things off. Grounded to third, taking on the run and throw to first in time. So it'll be a fast out number 1 for Iguchi.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that today. Weak contact from the Leafs. You know, we love to say, well, the last stretch for them have been really, really good offensively. Well, yesterday it wasn't great. Today it hasn't been much of anything. I mean, that obviously the wind plays a factor. I know you and Thomas were talking about, well, if there's anybody hit a ball out today, it's probably John Salazzo. Anybody who gets it up in that left field stream, I think, is a pretty good shot.
And with that last at bat against Vinicio, Iguchi has now sat down the order at least one time through. The last hit came in the 3rd inning. It was the Jose Vinicio single. Castaldo gives this a ride to deep right center field. It's back, and it's off the wall. Castaldo rounds first. He's going to be into second standing, and maybe that's the spark the Maple Leafs need to try to get some offense.
And those are the kind of swings that we've been very accustomed and very lucky to see the last 2 weeks or so with the Leafs. You know, putting a good swing on the ball. Iguchi doesn't throw overly hard. You have so much power from the left-handed batter's box in this Leafs lineup, not just today, but pretty much every game. They have a plethora of lefty hitters. You see another one coming up here in Justin Mara, lacing it to the gap. The wind did knock that down a little bit too, but that just shows how much power that Jordan Castaldo has getting it to the fence.
I was going to say, you got to mention the wind knocking it down like you said. That one probably might be going over the fence. It was tough to say, but a big hit for Jordan Castaldo. Again, the offense trying to strike back for the Leafs. Justin Morrow will step up, and he's 0 for 2, and he watches ball 1 go by. Trail 2-0 here in the bottom half of the 6th. Iguchi has looked sensational, and that's another pitch where he goes sidearm, and it just misses on the outside half.
Yeah, it's been a consistent theme today. Scott Cameron doesn't want to call pitches on the outside part of the plate. You know, it's been a very consistent strike zone, I'd say, for both sides. It's just been tight at times.
Here's a 2-0, and that one on the inner half, and it catches the strike. That catches the corner of the zone, and Iguchi, as he's throwing the pitch, the hat went sailing, and that just is, I guess, just straight from the wind. I mean, he turned and the hat went falling. Mara hit the ball hard in his first at-bat. He had lined out to the shortstop, and then his last at-bat, he flew out to center field. And a ball that, again, it kind of went up, got killed by the wind, and it was an easy catch. That outside half, he is just not going to get anything there. Another ball, 3-1 count here to Justin Mara.
Yeah, and there's a couple guys beginning to get loose down there in the Hamilton bullpen. You got to imagine Iguchi, who's been stretched out decently, but this is likely his last inning.
And low ball 4, so the Maple Leafs, they have something cooking here in the bottom of the 6th. It was a leadoff out for Jose Vinicio, and since then, a Jordan Castaldo double off the wall and a Justin Morrow walk, and Marcus Connect will be the next batter up after the meeting on the mound.
Yeah, I think Chris Piano's just going out there to calm his guys down. Iguchi's been going through this game very quick. There's been limited damage from the Leafs side of things. They've got a couple guys on, but it's been relatively consistent. 3 up, 3 down, 4 up, 3 down. He hasn't had to work deep into a lot of these innings. So I think if nothing else, this also is just hey, this is the first time in a while that you've been in some trouble out there. Let's just go back to what you've been doing so well. And oh, by the way, Marcus Connect and Jonathan Salazzo are coming up, so it doesn't get any easier.
and Marcus Connect. And I guess that'll be it for Iguchi. So we'll have a new pitcher coming into the ball game. So we'll step aside and be right on back here with more action from Dominico Field in the bottom of the 6th. So the new pitcher into the game here for Hamilton is number 19, Corbin Peters. And he will take over. He's appeared in 5 games, started 1, 7 and 1/3 inning. And Gus, he has not given up an earned run yet. 1 run, 3 hits, 1 walk, 11 strikeouts. He has been electric out of the bullpen.
Yeah, he's been one of a handful of really dominant relievers to begin the year on a number of these teams. And again, they trust him enough here that they're saying, okay, we're turning to one of our best guys to face the middle of the order. Now in the first real tough spot of the game for the Hamilton Cardinals.
Yeah, and the Hamilton Cardinals, they had their game rained out yesterday. So a lot of fresh arms, and this is probably best case scenario for them as Connect swings at the second pitch of the at-bat and it goes 1-1.
And it's worth mentioning in between, well, during the pitching change, I should say there, we believe that Hamilton Cardinals field manager Chris Piano was ejected. He had some words for the home plate umpire and had to be taken back to the dugout by Luis Bernardo, and Bernardo now has the lineup sheet, and we believe it's Chris Piano who's made his way down the right field line of the bullpen.
Connect watched that one go down, so it's going to be 2-1 the count. And yeah, you know, the strike zone, we were talking about it. It's been very tight, but it's been very consistent on both ends. Both teams have not been really getting that outside call, and it's got to the point where Hamilton's head coach just, well, he had enough of it, saw enough, and didn't want to deal with it anymore. Peters gets a sign. Here's the pitch. In there for strike 2. 2-2 here on Marcus Connect, who we always talk about Marcus Connect and the slow start he had. The last game against Welland was the first time he didn't register a hit since May 26th against Welland as well in that 6-4 win. He has been red hot since the calendar flipped to June. Watch that one by. It's a full count.
Yeah, Peter slipped off the mound a little bit there. You know, it's always, I'm honestly shocked it doesn't happen more when relievers come in mid-inning dealing with the holes that are dug by the previous pitchers. Even in lower age groups, it's surprising to me that there's no more issues than there are.
Here's the 3-2 and hit and fouled off. Connect stays alive.
Walks as good as a base hit right here. I mean, you got Salazzo on deck. Him coming up with the bases loaded is prime real
Salazzo on
estate.
deck, and then you have Dos Santos, who's also been hot. Pulled, and that's fair ball down the left field line. Castaldo rounding third. He'll come in to score. Mara stops at second, and Marcus Connect comes up with an RBI single.
That'll do. Turned on one there and just laced it down the left field line. Good piece of hitting. You get it to a full count, you fight off a couple tough pitches, and then you turn on that, and that's just a great piece of hitting. You know, it was cut off very nicely in the corner there by Danny Berg, who slipped a little bit as he got to it. But first and second, and I mean, you'll take that as well. It's a one-run ball game. You know, Salazzo coming up now.
And again, Marcus Connect, since the calendar flipped to June, he has been an electrifying hitter in this lineup. Looks like Salazzo will take time real quick. It looked like a dust storm was cooking up there on the infield, and it got right in the eyes of Salazzo and the umpire. So the Leafs cut the deficit in half. 2-1 lead here for the Cardinals. And Salazzo pops this, but I believe the wind is going to launch it out of play. And oh man, that was close to hitting some people on the path. We talk about the wind playing a factor. Any pop fly that's on the infield, it has a possibility of getting out of play. So behind on the count here is Salazzo. Peters gets his sign. Here's the pitch. And it's outside, ball one. The two runners that were on previous, those are inherited by Iguchi. Another pop-up, and it's out of play, but that ball, Gus, it is sailing when it is out of play. I mean, that looked like it's supposed to hit the bottom of the hill, and it's carrying all the way to the top.
It is, and you can see the game plan by Peters, and we've seen it in years past. Teams, their way of attacking Jonathan Salazzo is you're going to work to that outer third part of the plate because there's a bit of swing and miss there. This season there has been some, but not to the extent that we've seen in recent season. We've seen him take the ball the other way a number of times, over the fence, hitting off the fence.
Yeah, and Salazzo has begun to go oppo. This time he pulls into right field, and it's going to hang up there for DeBanning. And that's going to be out number 2, and I'll bring up Ryan DeSantos.
That ball hung up there for what felt like hours. For the amount of power that Jonathan Salazzo has when he pulls the ball, that wind, one, knocked it down, but two, kept it up there.
Yeah,
You know,
don't get me wrong. I mean, it looked like Salazzo still did miss it, but the wind did not help. And Ryan DeSantos, he comes up here and he's going to want to try to get something going for him today. It's been a tough go at the plate of Gucci. It was just switching up all levels of release points against this lineup, and he was efficient and effective. DeSantos, first pitch swinging for strike one.
Yeah, he's had a tough couple games here, you know, today, yesterday. But we've seen what he's capable of. You know, we were both talking to him before the game, and he seemed excited as ever just to get back out there after what occurred yesterday in Welland, and now's as good a time as any.
Swinging at another pitch, looked like a fastball there, strike two. And yeah, he admitted it's been a bit of a rough stretch. But again, he's also been one of the hottest Leafs hitters all season long. Start of the year, it was really his bat that electrified him, and goes down swinging there, and that will retire the side. The Leafs will get one, cut the deficit in half, and we will head to the top half of the 7th here at Dominico Field.
Well, back here at Dominico Field, you're watching Toronto Maple Leafs baseball on YouTube, brought to you by MNP, National in Scope, Local in Focus. MNP is one of Canada's leading professional services firms, proudly serving individuals, businesses, and organizations since 1958. Julian Valdez back on the mound for the Maple Leafs. Facing Tyler Duncan, and the first pitch is popped up. This is to the left side, but well into foul territory. Up the hill at Christie Pitts. Corbin Peters comes into the game. It can't preserve all of the runs that are charged to Takaki Iguchi, but he does limit the damage somewhat. An RBI single by Marcus Connect is what sees the Maple Leafs trailing by just one. Now this one's smashed into the gap, but that one's gonna hang up. And it's the aforementioned Marcus Connect who comes over and makes the catch, one away.
And Connect, he's been very active out there in right field, and probably to his standards a very easy day because a lot of the balls that are getting hit out there are just dying. And for the most part here at Dominico Field, a lot of the balls hit to right field will carry to the wall. Everything's just kind of hitting Marcus Connect right where he's standing.
The Maple Leafs have been able to keep Luis Bernardo in check today. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. They've also been able to keep another tough hitter who's on deck in Connor Hicks that day, also 0 for 3. It's the pitch from Valdez. Way inside, 2-0.
Yeah, so far on the day, Luis Bernardo struck out, lined out to center field, and then popped out.
Good chance for his first hit here, though. 2-0 is the count, with one away. And it's high. 3-0. Luis Bernardo played his rookie season in the IBL last year, hit .289 in 152 at-bats. And he takes low ball 4, so he reaches base for the first time today, and that brings up Connor Hicks. Luis Bernardo doesn't have a hit today, but came into this game hitting .333.
Pitcher number 44, Connor Hicks.
Hicks swings and misses at the first pitch, strike one.
Again, not a lot of offense so far today. I mean, the pitching for both sides has been very strong, but also just the factors of the elements. We question, how impactful will the win be in this game? And, well, to this point, it's been pretty impactful. No hard hits. The hardest one to right field was probably the Jordan Castaldo double off the fence.
Connor Hicks struggled in the 12 games that he played at Indiana State this season. Hit just .188, but since coming to the Intercounty Baseball League has really found his groove. The 1-1. This one's hit out to left center field, and it's down and it's in the gap. It rolls all the way to the wall. They're gonna hold the runner at third base, and Luis Bernardo, as he dances off the bag. Salazzo chases him back, but he's in safely.
Initially, Bernardo was getting the wave around third. The third base coach was giving him the wave, and then DeSantos grabbed it off the wall and a fantastic throw into Vinicio, and he just kind of had to stay up. There's no point in even attempting to go.
No hard feelings at third base between Salazzo and Bernardo as they have a big hug. And now Salazzo will come to the mound as Sam Green is out of the dugout. And just now, Max Lanoux is warming up for the Maple Leafs. Dustin Richardson was throwing lightly earlier and then stopped. Julian Valdez is going to stay in this game. hurricane that just ripped through the broadcast booth.
Yep.
Everyone reaches to keep their laptop open. Julian Valdez has got himself in a bit of a jam here at the top of the 7th inning. It's a 2-1 ball game, but this is a game that has felt like runs are hard to come by. So if Valdez could hold the Hamilton Cardinals right here, that would be big for Toronto. First pitch a strike, and the infielders played way in up the middle for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, up the middle, they are on the grass, and then the corners, they are playing even with the bag. So anything that is hit on the ground, you gotta assume that the runner at third is not moving.
Dennis DeBanning, the batter, behind 0-1. And that one's low and in the dirt, picked out by Justin Mara.
DeBanning had the lone RBI earlier on in the game.
Drill the ball for a double to center field. A ball that was getting knocked down by the wind, but still one-hopped the wall. Count level at 1-1. Infield way in for the Maple Leafs. And that time was called at the plate by Dennis DeBanning as he felt that strong gust of wind pushing him off balance in the batter's box.
And the sandstorm.
Yeah, sand in the eyes. Not easy. The 1-1 is taken low. And we just saw a dog crate go flying along the hillside. It's bark in the park today at Dominico Field, but
I think that's the second time that crate has actually rolled down the hill.
yeah, all the dogs are keeping a low profile here on this windy day. The 2-1. And that one's in the dirt, blocked by Justin Mara. That is an important play right there to hold the runner Bernardo at third base.
Looked like a little bit of an awkward block. Mara didn't really go down for it. He kind of just played it a little off to the side, so I'm not sure if he got crossed up again with Valdez.
Now, Zach, you have a base open here. The count is 3-1, well in the hitter's favor. Do you think about being careful with this next pitch if you're Valdez?
I think, honestly, I would kind of tread carefully around to Banning. You have Rempel on deck, who he hasn't really done anything today, but
He's had a good season.
yeah, he's had a really good season.
He is careful. A breaking ball in the dirt from Valdez. And that will load the bases. So now the force is on at home plate. The double play is a possibility. And I think Max Lanoux is coming into this ball game. Brian Sewell is out of the dugout for the Maple Leafs. Max Lanoux taking some final sips of water out there in the bullpen, and he gets the call. So that's it for Julian Valdez. And if Max Lanoux can hold the runs right there, that's a great outing for Valdez. So that will be his task right now. Most importantly, the Maple Leafs trying to hold this to a 1-run lead for Hamilton. We'll be right back. Oh, God. A big spot coming up here for Tanner Rempel as everything gets blown off the table. Okay. He was great last game, wasn't he?
Yeah.
3 for 4. All 3 of his hits were doubles. He batted in 4 runs. Well, guess what? There's 3 runs sitting on the base path right now, and, well, the Hamilton Cardinals would love one of those doubles right about now.
Yeah, that would probably break the doors open on this game, but it'll be a test because he's going up against a pitcher that has had a very good season here in the IBL in Max Lanoux. And with the way that this wind is playing and the way Lanoux releases the ball, it could be very interesting to see how that breaking ball looks.
Is this good for a pitcher?
Well, when the wind is coming at your back like that, it might help you get a little bit more on the fastball. The breaking ball might have a little bit more break to it.
I can see my equipment dangling off the fence right now.
Uh-oh.
First baseman number 44.
Yeah, that last gust of wind was a heavy one.
Yeah, that was. I'm not even sure that center field camera is still intact out there either. All right, well, Tanner Rempel has the wind in his face and trying to drive in some runs here to blow things open for Hamilton. I mean, they would take a station-to-station single too, but with the way that Tanner Rempel has been hitting doubles lately, that might be what he has his eyes set on if he can find a gap. And the first pitch is a strike from Max Lanoux.
And again, the way that Lanoux pitches, he comes straight over the top. And again, the wind at his back, that fastball can look a bit faster.
The 0-1. And that one finds the zone 0-2. So the strikeout is good here for Max Lanoux. The ground ball double play is great. And now you have some room to work with, although the wild pitch is bad.
So he went fastball first pitch and then that curveball second.
He goes back to the breaking ball. It's hit on the ground and past Dan Mara up the middle. That's going to drive in one run. Here's the throw, cut off. Actually, it bounces off the mound. Instead, goes to the backstop. That's going to allow both Hamilton Cardinals to advance an extra 90 feet. That took a tough hop off the mound. And the Hamilton Cardinals have taken a 4-1 lead.
It's a tough break. He got the ground ball he wanted, but it was in a very tough spot. Dan Mara couldn't knock it down. He went to the back end and ran, and he couldn't.
Josh Niles.
So things have opened up here at Dominico Field. 4-1 Hamilton Cardinals. Now it's Josh Niles at the plate, and he has two in scoring position. And the pitch is high. It gets to the backstop. Justin Mara has looked like he might have had a shot at home plate, but he doesn't make the throw, and another run comes in to score, and it's 5-1, and things starting to unravel here for the Maple Leafs as all three of the inherited runners are going to come in to score. So now that runner at third base, the responsibility of Max Lanoux, and he's trying to stop the bleeding right here. The 1-0. And this one's drilled to deep left field, but it's hooking towards the foul pole, and it's well foul out of play. Had home run distance, but you'd have to think the wind is probably what blew that ball out of play.
Yeah, it's playing a mega factor right now.
Going from right field to left field. Here's the 1-1. Infield in for the Maple Leafs. Still sensing some urgency to try and keep that runner at third. And the pitch is high. Counts 2-1 on Niles. Three and one, so now you still have the base open at first and second for that matter. Niles in a hitter's count and has an opportunity to drive in a run with the Maple Leafs infield way in. The 3-1 pitch from Max Lanoux, and it's outside ball four, and Lanoux did not mean to do that. He slipped off the mound as he threw that pitch, and it's first and third with one out for Hamilton.
Second baseman number 1, Zach Merrill.
So Zach Marriott, trying to keep that 3-game hit streak alive, comes to the plate. runners at the corners. Here's the first pitch from Lanu. Check swing. And he went around, says the home plate umpire.
That looked like the breaking ball. Lanu, again, it comes out of his hand the same way as the fastball. So Marriott just got completely mixed up.
The count's 0-1. You have to feel for Max Lanu here. He came into the game and got that bouncing ball up the middle that he was looking for, but it didn't get on the double play. Instead, it was a 2 RBI double. Now here's another one up the middle. Flipped to second for one by Vinicio, and that's all they'll get. Another run comes in to score. That was a slow chopper, and it's 6-1 Hamilton Cardinals, and they've blown this thing wide open here in the top of the 7th.
And the way this inning started, it looked like it was going to be another quick inning for Julian Valdez. He got the first batter out almost instantaneously. That was Tyler Duncan. And then the walk to Luis Bernardo and Connor Hicks double, and then the Dennis DeBanning walk, and things just kind of unraveled.
Brandon Nicholson at the plate had an RBI single in his last at-bat. Maple Leafs have the bottom half of their order coming up with Connor Lewis, Jesse Hodges, and Dan Mara. And the bottom half of the 7th inning. Still 3 innings to go. That one's way outside for Max Lanu, 2-0. Although, at this point in the ballgame, the Maple Leafs would love to have the top of the order with Castaldo, Mara, and Connect looming on deck. But the bottom half is going to have to get something done for the Maple Leafs if they want to come back in this ballgame. 6-1 Hamilton Cardinals. That one's fouled off by Brandon Nicholson, the leadoff hitter for the Cardinals. After that, it's Tyler Duncan, Luis Bernardo, and Connor Hicks. 2 away. Lanu trying to end the inning right here. The 2-1 to Nicholson. Well inside, 3-1. Nicholson pops this one up. It's on the infield. John Salazzo says he's got it, and he does in foul territory. And that will finally end the inning for the Maple Leafs, but not before the Hamilton Cardinals put up 4 runs in the top half of the 7th inning. They lead 6-1 on 7 hits over the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Back here for the bottom of the 7th inning, and new pitcher coming in here for Hamilton. Alex Langen will be the one to step on the mound here for the Cardinals. So it'll look like this: Connor Lewis, Jesse Hodges, and then Dan Mara coming up to bat here.
First pitch from Alex Lanigan is fouled off. And again with an ERA of 7.71 and his 4 appearances for Hamilton this season. Played last year for the Cardinals as well. Made 18 appearances. Connor Lewis hits this one on the ground, snared at first base, and what a play. Tanner Rempel for the first out. That's going to bring Jesse Hodges to the plate.
Rempel gets that big hit last half inning, and he makes a big defensive play right there. A great sliding grab to retire Connor Lewis.
Alex Lanigan was excellent for the Hamilton Cardinals last season, an ERA of 2.60 and a 4-0 record. Hodges hits this one to center field, although it's getting knocked down, and that's plenty of room out there for Brandon Nicholson to make the catch. Quickly 2 away for Lanigan.
Second baseman, number 6, Dan Mara.
Alex Lanigan has spent quite a bit of time out on the West Coast playing baseball. Played for the Edmonton Prospects in 2022 and also a University of Alberta alum. Actually still at U of A, or University of Calgary I should say, in his 4th year there. This one's popped up by Dan Mara. This one looks like it might be playable, and what a diving cow! Just got drilled with a branch here in the broadcast booth. Oh, that was right in the neck. Great catch though. Okay, we'll be right back. Well, 6-1 Hamilton Cardinals here at Dominico Field. Max Lanoux back on the mound for the Maple Leafs. He faces 2-3-4 in the order for the Hamilton Cardinals. First, it's Danny Berg who's at the plate. Tyler Duncan looming on deck.
What a day at the ballpark it has been.
Yeah.
The wind playing a massive factor.
Yeah, most of the outfield banners have had to be taken down. Everyone's just kind of holding on to everything and hoping it doesn't blow away.
I don't know if you saw it, but the tent that's usually set up right beside the concession
Yeah,
stand,
I
it
saw
went flying almost over the fence.
Yeah, one leg was hanging over the fence out there in center field.
Yeah, everything has been taken down. The fence or the tents on the left field line, they're all been taken down. I think the only one that's still standing is the left field brewery.
On the ground to first. Played on a hop by Jordan Castaldo. He waited to get that bigger hop, and then it was a tricky one. Flips to Max Lanoux in time to get the out.
In there.
Well, the Maple Leafs did a good job holding Tyler Duncan in check last game, although they did lose the game. They've now kept Duncan over his last six at-bats without a hit. He has reached base. So they've cheated a little bit though. They pitched around him twice and walked him, but 0-4 last game, 0-2 officially here today.
He's still making hard contact, but everything that he's hit has just been right to a defender. Look at the last one, the fly out to right field.
That's one thing the Hamilton Cardinal batters have done a really good job of today is keep the Maple Leafs off the base path. They've only allowed 4 hits and walked 2 batters. Both of those were in that excellent 5-inning start by Iguchi. So
Yeah.
1 away. Tyler Duncan behind in the count, 0-2.
Iguchi was just electric again against the Maple Leafs.
That pitch from Max Lanoux sails to the backstop. Final line for Iguchi, 3 hits, just the 1 earned run. That came in when Corbin Peters came into the game and walked 2, struck out 4. Nothing compared to the 8 strikeouts he had over 4 innings against the Maple Leafs last time out, but this time he was a little bit more efficient and induced some contact. This one's on the ground. Vinicio has a tough hop, flips to John Salazzo.
What the hell was that?
I'm not quite sure what was going through the mind there of Jose Vinicio trying to flip it to Salazzo to throw it to first. Either way, John Salazzo was not expecting that, and that's going to allow the runner to reach base.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what to chalk that down as.
That's an error. I think he was kind of bobbling the baseball and just kind of tried to whack it to John Salazzo, but
Yeah, my 2 guesses would have been just bobbling, he couldn't get a hold on it, or the way he took it, because it looked like he tried to go around it, and then it handcuffed him a little bit on the inside. So he didn't really have a good path, and might have thought Salazzo would have had a better throw, is my only guess.
they didn't rehearse that one in the pregame today, though. Next time he'll know. John Salazzo was talking with the third base coach of the Hamilton Cardinals as well. He's still talking about it.
Yeah, third base coach saying, see, if you grabbed it and turned like this, you got fired and got
you
him.
can see it. You can see that he's kind of turning his body. He says he wasn't squared up to throw that baseball.
Exactly, yeah.
So 2-0 the count now on Luis Bernardo. He takes inside. Now it's 3-0.
And that inside pitch to the righties and outside for the lefties, that has not been there at all today. That was one of the reasons why Hamilton's head coach was ejected, because he was arguing those strike calls there. Or excuse me, the ball calls, I should say.
Here's a 3-0. Bernardo's swinging and he hits it on the ground. Jose Vinicio, a chance for redemption, throws to second, not in time. Had trouble getting it out of the glove, and that'll go as a fielder's choice for Luis Bernardo, who made an ill-advised decision to swing 3-0 there as he almost grounded into a double play ball.
Yeah, it looked like Vinicio was on his back foot and then couldn't get it out of his glove.
So officially, will be a fielder's choice there on Luis Bernardo, as Vinicio could have gone to first base but elected to go the short way to second. Yeah, it could be an infield hit. See what they score it. So this is the catcher, Connor Hicks, who made a heck of a catch before I got drilled in the throat by a stick. I was trying to describe it. But he had a ball that was behind home plate. He thought it was like well onto the hillside, then looked up, saw the baseball, wasn't in position to catch it, dove and made a heck of a catch.
As you're talking about that, I just got smacked in the face by, I'm pretty sure, a leaf.
Yeah.
And that hurt.
Here's the 0-1. Inside, 1-1. Two on for Hicks, trying to extend the lead for Hamilton. A big cut and a miss, 1-2.
And Lanu's been fighting. It looks like, you know, you thought the start, possibly the wind might have been helpful for him, and it looks like it's just been a little bit detrimental, just trying to get the pitches over. He's missing some spots.
The wind has got to be a factor. Swing and a miss, strike three. A sharp fastball from Max Lanu. 2 outs.
Right fielder number 16, Dennis Day-Bandy.
Good day at the plate for Dennis DeBanning. 1 for 3 has walked and driven in a run. Batting average now at 361 for the Cardinals. The first pitch, this one's popped up.
Heads up.
Right behind home plate and bounces off to our left.
For a split second, it looked like it was landing right here on the table.
Yeah, I know. Like we had a pretty good opportunity at that one.
I mean, it would have been pretty poetic. You get hit by a stick, I got hit by leaves and sticks, and then a
And
baseball
Rob
just hits the
Bona
table.
dives and catches the baseball.
Exactly.
And there's a hit batter by Max Lanu. So Dennis DeBanning heads down to first base, and now the bases are loaded for the Hamilton Cardinals in what didn't look like it was going to be a dangerous inning, but it is now.
It's a little bit of a deja vu moment because guess who's coming up to the plate?
Tanner Rempel, who had the big hit an inning ago. Drove in a couple of runs on a sharp hit ground ball single up the middle. At the time, it looked like that was what Max Lanu was going to do to get out of the inning, as he needed a double play ground ball, but it was right up the middle and just out of the reach of Dan Mara at second base. Rempel swings and fouls it off of Justin Mara. Count now 1-1. Second season with the Hamilton Cardinals for Tanner Rempel. 27 games last year, playing in his 9th game now this year. The 1-1. That finds the outside corner, 1-2. If Max Lanu doesn't get Tanner Rempel here, you'd think that it's out of striking distance for the bats of the Maple Leafs, especially with balls getting knocked down and the power numbers. It'd be hard to see a guy hitting a home run here today. So Max Lanu needs to get Rempel right here. The 1-2 pitch. time called. Rempel back in the box. Max Lanou comes set. The 2-strike pitch. Swinging a foul tip right at home plate. Bounces off of the catcher Justin Mara, so Rempel just barely able to stay alive. Rempel with 3 doubles last game against the Maple Leafs.
3 doubles last game, 2 RBIs this game. He has been locked in at the plate, to say the least.
The 1-2. Swinging a line drive into the outfield, down for a base hit. This could be another double for Tanner Rempel. 2 runs are going to come in to score. Rempel slides into second base. He has himself another double and 2 more RBIs. Give him 4 on the day, and it's 8-1 Hamilton. And that is getting pretty close to putting this one to bed for the Cardinals. Meeting on the mound here between Sam Green and Max Lanou. They have Chris Nagorski, who's been throwing in the bullpen for the Leafs. Max Lanou's going to stay in the game.
Third baseman number 30, Josh Niles.
So 8 and 9 coming up here in the Hamilton Cardinal lineup, but Max Lanou wants to try and shut this down right here. Josh Niles is at the plate. He has a double today as well. Now Max Lanou steps off the mound, had a question for the umpire right behind him at second base. First pitch a ball, Max Lanou wanted it.
And again, the zone has been fairly tight all game so far today, and neither pitcher has been given those corner calls.
Yeah, it feels like the inner half has been tighter than the outer half today, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, a lot of stuff for the right-handed hitters on that corner, and then for the outside for the left-hand hitters. That side specifically has just not really been called.
That one does though, so the count's now 1-1. And now this one's hit into the outfield, deep to left, and it's off the wall. That's going to cash in 2 more runs for Hamilton. The throw to second, and it gets off the glove of Dan Mara. It looked like they had Niles hung up. Either way, it'll go as an RBI double. And the Maple Leafs miss another chance to get out of the inning and now trail 10-1.
Looks like that'll be the day for Max Lanou.
And the Leafs would have loved if they could have got that out there at second base with Niles, who was going to be caught in a rundown. But they'll have to go to an arm. And out earlier, this time it's Chris Nagorski coming into the game for the Maple Leafs. We'll take a quick break and be right back. Zach Marriott leading things off here after the pitching change for the Hamilton Cardinals. He'll face Chris Nagorski. Marriott in the number 9 hole, and then on deck, hopeful of an at-bat, is Nicholson. First pitch, hit on the ground. Dan Mara has it. Throws to first in plenty of time. 1 pitch, 1 out for Chris Nagorski. So that's how the inning ends, but not before a whole bunch more damage is done by the Hamilton Cardinals. In fact, they put up 4 once again, this time at the top of the 8th inning, and lead 10-1 over the Maple Leafs. We'll be right back. Well, if you are looking for a good matchup in the batter's box, you have come to the wrong place if you're a Toronto Maple Leafs pitcher. This is Mitsuki Akatsuka, who is a switch pitcher for the Hamilton Cardinals. So as soon as the Maple Leafs get a right-handed hitter up, he will likely switch the glove to that other hand and pitch from the other side. Right now going lefty against Charlie Towers.
And I don't think the situation will arise with any of the Maple Leaf hitters, but if there was a switch hitter to come up, I believe the pitcher has to elect first what side of the mound he's throwing from.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this is Jose Venicio's spot in the lineup, right? So Jose Venicio, he kind of switch hits. Could be interesting in a 10-1 ball game. So the 1-1 here. Akatsuka delivers. And it's fouled straight back by Towers. Mizuki Akatsuka had an excellent outing last time against Kitchener. He pitched 6 2/3, which from the naked eye looks like that was a start, but it wasn't. It was all in relief on June 14th. Allowed 7 hits, struck out 3, but no earned runs, and didn't walk any batters either. Hamilton Cardinals went on to lose that game 6-2. That one just misses outside to Towers on a breaking ball from Akatsuka. Cole Murchison is on deck. Looks like he's going to get an at-bat. Akatsuka's pitch just misses again. Bit of a leg kick there in frustration from Mizuki.
And like I mentioned, that outside corner for lefties, that has been the spot where these Hamilton Cardinals pitchers, they're hitting, but they're just not getting the call, and it's been consistent all game. So you gotta, if you're giving credit to the ump, you gotta give him credit. He's been consistent with that call.
So now a full count pitch, and it's up high, ball 4. So Charlie Towers will reach, and that's the first walk in over 7 innings for Akatsuka.
Now batting pinch hitter number 44, Carl Murchison.
Cole Murchison steps to the plate. Oh, this is interesting. Akatsuka is going to switch and become a righty pitcher here against Murchison, even though Murchison's a lefty bat. And this may also just be Akatsuka trying to get some reps in. He hasn't pitched since June 14th, so he may just switch every batter.
You know, gotta keep the arms loose. And I say arms plural.
That's great. Hit to the left side and foul as it hooked off to the left.
Now, do you think if you were to start a game and, you know, he pitched majority of the game left-handed and he switched to right, he'd be able to go just a full 9? Because, you know, the arm's feeling loose.
Wow.
You think about that?
What a weird concept to wrap your head around. Yeah, you throw half your pitches from one arm, half from the other arm.
You wouldn't be tired. You'd still be throwing just as hard.
Huh. This one's on the ground, up the middle. This could be 2. Second for 1, on to first. Double play. Good play there by Zach Marriott, who got that big high hop, went to the bag himself. Funny how Akatsuka hasn't started a game yet this year for Hamilton. With those 6 innings of relief, though, maybe that's in his future.
Hitting in the catcher's spot, number 22, Dionysius Chaltis.
So Dionysius Chaltis is going to get an at-bat here for the Maple Leafs as well. 3 consecutive pinch hitters. Dionysius Chaltis is in a bit of a tough scenario right now because the Maple Leafs have 3 catchers and they're all playing pretty well. Lachlan Maud has now entered his name into the mix as one of those catchers. Dionysius Chaltis hasn't had a ton of opportunity yet for the Maple Leafs, but he looks like he's a bat who could also be quite effective.
In the victory they had against Kitchener
Yep.
about a week and a half ago, Chaltis, he started and he had a couple good swings on a ball, just couldn't get lucky with where they were going. He had a hard line drive that kind of just nailed the left fielder right in the chest, and then he pulled a ball, I believe it was to second base, and just a diving catch kind of made by the second baseman for Kitchener.
Yeah, his one hit this year is a triple. It also went as his first inter-county baseball league hit. He got that one against Guelph. Last played on June 13th against Kitchener Panthers. So this is a big opportunity here for Chaltis to get aboard, try and get a hit, and earn some playing time here on this Maple Leafs team. The 2-0 in the dirt. Chaltis checks his swing.
Kind of looked like he broke the hands a little bit with the way he checked his swing. He just dropped the bat head down a little.
This is another game for the Maple Leafs that starts out with Sam Green playing an opener role. Sam Green doing really well, and then the game just getting out of hand for the Maple Leafs later on. Chaltis hits this one in the air to left. Ball is up there in the jet stream, and that ball actually started carrying a little bit out to left field, but Danny Berg was there to make the catch. And that will do it for the Maple Leafs in the bottom half of the 8th inning. They have 3 outs to play with, trailing 10-1 against Hamilton. Back here at Dominico Field, a couple of changes defensively for the Maple Leafs. At first base, Cole Murchison is going to stay there in favor of Jordan Castaldo. Jose Venecia was out at shortstop. He was pinch hit for Charlie Towers, and Towers stays at short. Dionysius Chialtis stays in at catcher. Pinch hit for Justin Mara. Chris Nagorski back on the mound. He's only thrown one pitch in this ball game so far. It got him out of the 8th inning. So here we are, top 9, 10-1 Hamilton. And Chris Nagorski just trying to get through this inning as quickly as possible, get the bats of the Maple Leafs up, and then that's probably it. This one's hit in the air towards the new shortstop Towers, a slide and no catch made out there by Ryan Dos Santos as it falls in. Wind creating havoc once again in the field. So Nicholson is aboard. Now Danny Berg comes to the plate. He's 1 for 3 today with a walk. Berg takes low.
The elements have not been fun today.
So Tyler Duncan is on deck, and I did some digging into the history books, and I just wanted to see. I've always been fascinated about how Division I baseball translates to the Intercounty Baseball League, because I think it's arguably as good as guys coming from the minor leagues, if not better, because a lot of the time when you get people coming from AA, single A, rookie ball, that kind of thing, they're players who are past their prime in their career. This one's hit on the ground, fair ball, so Tyler Duncan will get an at-bat now. The runner Nicholson with that great speed is going to head to third base. First and third, nobody out here for Hamilton. And I wanted to compare Tyler Duncan's stats from when he played in D1 at Arkansas State to now, because he's had almost the exact same amount of at-bats. So coming into today's game, he had 455 at-bats in the Intercounty Baseball League and 447 at-bats in his career at Arkansas State. And the numbers were remarkably similar. He had a career batting average of .291 at Arkansas playing D1, .336 here in the IBL. You'd expect that to be a little bit better, right? The RBI number's a little bit higher at Arkansas. You'd expect that to be because of the caliber of the players around him playing at a good school. And then the home run numbers are way up for Duncan playing in the Intercounty Baseball League. He had 16 home runs and 447 at-bats in Arkansas, 27 home runs and 455 at-bats in the IBL. And that you'd have to expect smaller ballparks, right?
Yeah, I mean, wow.
But just crazy similar numbers, and I don't think the level of baseball in the Intercounty Baseball League is Division I level. Maybe it is, but I think that was just an interesting comparison between the two levels of baseball, and with Tyler Duncan being the vessel for that.
For sure. I mean, like you said, the numbers being that similar is kind of scary, actually.
Yeah.
When you look at it.
Duncan hits a high chopper. This is going to plate a run and also move one to third base. 11-1 Hamilton Cardinals. And Tyler Duncan has got himself an RBI and kind of sarcastically putting his hands in the air, celebrating that RBI with this game well out of hand. We didn't get a chance to talk about this today, but I also was digging into how good Jordan Castaldo has been as a whole this season. He has the most at-bats out of anybody in the Intercounty Baseball League, and that's because he's up in the leadoff spot, and the Maple Leafs have played a lot of games. But he is tied. He came into today's game tied for first in hits with Seth Strong. He has 5 doubles, which is 4th in the Intercounty Baseball League, 4 home runs, which is tied for 4th, 18 RBIs, which is 3rd. He's 3rd in walks with 15, I believe, or maybe 13. Yeah, 2 Maple Leafs are the ones ahead of him. This one's popped up. Charlie Towers going back. Dos Santos can't make the catch. Another run comes in to score, and it's 12-1. Just to finish that thought on Jordan Castaldo, because the list is long. Tied for 3rd in strikeouts, which I guess is not a stat that's that good, but he's up there. I'm just naming off all the stats. He's up there. tied for 4th in runs scored.
Wow.
So, I mean, that just kind of leads to the perfect leadoff hitter for the Maple Leafs, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, as a leadoff hitter, that's all you really want is just get on base. That's about it. It's just, and then you'll get driven in from guys underneath you. But Jordan Castaldo quietly has just been having such a stellar season when you look at the numbers.
Yeah. And quietly, because it seems like it's just been lately that he started picking it up, but he has really raised those numbers right back to where we expected for Jordan Castaldo. So this is the catcher, Connor Hicks, at the plate. Couple runs in the inning, and Connor Hicks lines this one into the outfield. That's down for a base hit. The line continues here for the Hamilton Cardinals as they have 2 on once again, now with 1 out.
Right fielder number 16, Dennis Day Banning.
Dennis DeBanning comes to the plate. Has had a good day for Hamilton. Hamilton's been very efficient today. 12 runs on 14 hits. High chopper to third. Salazzo has got it. Throws to first in time to get the out. 2 away. And this has been the man of the day, though, for the Hamilton Cardinals. If they had to pick a player of the game, this is probably the guy. Tanner Rempel, 4 RBIs, had a huge double in his last at-bat, had a big 2 RBI single. He's 2 for 4, and he has had quite the day at the plate and quite the last 2 games against the Maple Leafs, hasn't he?
For sure. And I mean, the fact he has another opportunity here to sink in 2 more RBIs on the day is pretty impressive to say itself. I mean, you look at the stats. I believe he has 7 RBIs on the year, and 4 of them coming today.
Hard hit ball. Oh, boy. And that drilled the runner at third base. Lane Renault, who looks like he came in to pinch run.
Renault, he got up, looked at the bench, and just went, shrugged his shoulders and goes right back to third. That is a ball player.
That hit him hard. You hear that
I
sound?
heard that from up here, yeah.
Oh. So Rempel's behind painfully for Lane Renault, 0-2.
And Renault's probably just like, all right, now just don't do that again.
You may have to hit the ball the other way out of respect.
I think the best part of everything that just happened is John Salazzo took, I think, 3 more steps towards the line.
Yeah.
He is hugging the third base line.
He is. This one's hit in the air to center field. It's hanging up for Connor Lewis. He's there. He makes the catch. And the Maple Leafs trail by 11 runs. They have 1 more at-bat left coming up here in the bottom of the 9th inning. We'll be right back.
Welcome back here to the bottom half of the 9th inning. Jacob Gajic will be coming onto the mound here for the Hamilton Cardinals. He'll face Marcus Connect, John Salazzo, and Ryan Dos Santos.
Yeah, Gajic's had a good season. I mean, his only loss in the year came against these very Toronto Maple Leafs. But overall, in 6 games, he's done his job. He's one of the lefties, one of the many lefties out of the bullpen for the Hamilton Cardinals. Well, including the switch pitcher, they have 7 or 8, depending how you look at it. I mean,
I'd give him the 8. give him the lefty of the switch.
Yeah. 7. Let me correct myself. With the switch pitcher, they got 7, which is a lot.
You
for
think,
any
yeah,
team.
you think about the the norms of bullpens. You know, lefties are not that common, but for this Hamilton Cardinals team, very, very common. I know.
I thoroughly enjoy how Akatsuka is also listed as a switch hitter. Which I'm sure he is. Like, I'm sure it's a very legitimate switch hitting.
He's just always
ability,
switching. Going inside, and Connect draws a walk here to start off the 9th inning. And the kind of common theme that we saw in this game and the last game against Welland, you know, the Leafs, they put up a fight for the first couple innings, and then towards the tail end of the game, it just slowly got away from them, whether that be from pitching or the hitting not coming through in key moments. But it's just been a little bit of a rough stretch for this Maple Leaf squad, who are on a 3-game losing streak, and it's looking like it'll be 4 here. As the first pitch of Salazzo's in there for strike 1. Big cut at an off speed there, and Salazzo's down 0-2.
You know what they need is one of those Baseball United gold balls. I don't know if you follow Baseball United at all. It's like a new league that popped up, but one of the things they've done is have a gold ball where if you hit it out, it's worth like triple the runs.
And Salazzo will go down swinging, so it's first out here. I mean, hey, you know, incorporate the banana ball rules where you just try to win the inning.
Yeah.
If you win the inning, you get a point.
I mean, there's no downside at this stage. This point in the season, this point in the game. In terms of other Toronto-based baseball teams, the Blue Jays are also losing in the 9th inning, so.
Julian Johnson will step up to the plate here in pinch hitting for Ryan Dos Santos. That pitch catching the outer half for strike 2.
If it were a close ball game, I don't think that would have been a strike.
Well, taking a look here at the upcoming games for the Leafs, they'll be on the road in Barrie on Thursday. That one is a 7:35 start, and then back at home on Sunday, June 30th. And they'll have a nice little break, though. It's been a lot of games for this Maple Leaf squad. They played Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and today. That's lined in a left field for a base hit for the newly entered in Johnson.
Yeah, good piece of hitting right there. Take his hands in, lace it down the left field line. That's what they, teach you to do on any inside pitch. You cut your hands in, you don't extend, and you get around on the ball really quick, and that's exactly what he did. And that'll give Connor Lewis at least one more at-bat. Although that's a generous at least. And there probably will just be one.
Next Sunday, the Leafs, it should be a good game. It's the London Majors coming to town. Lewis hits this right to shortstop, flip over to second in time for 1, and no throw to first. So it'll be a fielder's choice here for Connor Lewis.
London's had some terrific pitching.
It
start
is.
this year.
It
They've
has been
had
very
some-
interesting to see the kind of shape up of the IBL season to this point. I mean, the Kitchener Panthers last year were the second best team in the league, 26-15, and they are sitting at the very bottom right now, 3-12. Hamilton Cardinals, they've continued just to get better. They had a good year last year, finishing under 500, 19-23. And then they have just performed way better this year to start the season, sitting around 500. Guelph Royals had a slow start last year. They have bounced back mightily. And, London Majors, they're up there again. Welland Jackfish, the Barrie Baycats, popped up to left field, and this should be the ball game. Camped under it, and it is. And that'll do it for the game here at Dominico Field. Hamilton Cardinals take it, a score of 12-1 in what was a very close game up